He was a hero for the Mavericks in Game 6, scoring the game overtime goal just 1 minute and 4 seconds in sudden death. Novak was outstanding in the conference finals, scoring 5 goals, each one seemingly more electric than the last, and he's just been fantastic for KC.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal hockey player. Joined the Mavericks in the midst of their second-round series against the Allen Americans and just started taking over games immediately. He's so good at creating a little space for himself and getting a scoring opportunity with that little space. If the Mavericks want to win this series, they will likely need number 10 to stay hot for the second consecutive season against the Florida Everblades.
That's right, 5 goals in the last series against the Fort Wayne Comets for number 10 for the Mavericks. And then as you look at the opponents, Sean, one guy that you have to talk about when you talk to the Everblades is Cam Johnson. His name has become synonymous with Everblades hockey over the last several years. He's been a stalwart goaltender for years. He's played every minute of these playoffs, and for good reason. If there's one player in this league who can frustrate the Mavericks' high-flying attack, it's Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson's list of accomplishments at this level read as long as a CVS receipt. This guy is good. He's got back-to-back Goalie of the Year awards in the ECHL. He's got 2 playoff MVP awards from years ago as well. The good news is the guy who finished second in Goalie of the Year voting this season was Jack LaFontaine. They will be dueling in the creases tonight, and boy howdy, that should be a fun one to watch.
That's right. So not only do we have the Clash of the Titans on the ice in terms of the teams overall, but in terms of the goaltending as well. So we've got ourselves quite the matchup here in the Kelly Cup Finals. The league's 2 best teams all season meeting for the first time in nearly 2 years. Sean, your keys to Game 1.
First off, create traffic. We just talked about this guy, but if you score on Cam Johnson cleanly, keep that puck. The Mavericks need to make his life difficult in that crease and capitalize on second chance opportunities. Second, get everyone involved. This is the deepest this Mavericks team has been all season long. If they can get full line rotations early in the game, that will help unlock the best version of this hockey team. And lastly, capitalize on over-aggression. Game 1s typically take a crazy turn with the physicality, especially the deeper you go into playoffs. See if you can catch Florida committing to the body too much and spring some odd man rushes going the other way. Also, capitalize on any undisciplined penalties that Florida takes from that as well.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. We'll be back in just a moment, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's the Mavericks and the Florida Everblades. Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals coming your way next.
Fun, high-end, the upper echelon. That is our guiding principle. The extraordinary. At every level, at every turn, and in every interaction. Why? Simple. To offer the absolute finest luxury car experience in Kansas City. That is what it means to be an aristocrat. Aristocrat Motors, where we treat every driver like royalty.
Welcome inside Cable Dahmer Arena, folks, and thanks so much for joining us. Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals underway. The Mavericks and the Everblades meeting for the first time in nearly 2 years. We're so glad to have you with us tonight on FloHockey, Amazon Prime, the Mavericks mobile app, and KSMO. Hudson Wilson with the puck in his own zone. Slams it off the boards out to center. It deflects towards Johnson, and he will steer it aside. Jordan Sambrook with the puck on his stick, rolled it to the far side. Moberg slides it out to neutral ice. Intercepted by Zach Ewens, the former Everblade. He will guide it out to Crawford. Crawford dumps it into the Florida zone. As it'll be scooped up by Sam Stang. He twirls it out to neutral ice. The Everblades commencing a quick line change here as Crawford moves it up to Randall. Back to Crawford. His shot deflects over the goal. But Jimmy Glynn might have gotten a piece of that shot on the way through. Cole Moberg, who leads all Everblades defensemen in scoring in these playoffs, slides it to the near corner. Crawford will put it behind the Florida net. The Mavericks steal the puck. Centering pass deflects out to neutral ice. Crawford rolls it to Jutting. He will dump it in. Randall, pretty good size hit on Connor Doherty. Applies a lot of pressure. In comes Novak. He's met in the corner of the near side of the Florida zone. And the Everblades able to work it along the boards, not out. Good steal by McCallum. Florida recovers in their own zone. It'll be banked off the boards diagonally now to center ice. Charlie Wright over to McLaughlin. His pass is kicked along by Novak. Good skillful play with his skate. Turned over along the half wall. Novak tried to slide it over, and we get a whistle and a stoppage. And it looks like there might be an early penalty here against the Mavericks. Jake McLaughlin being escorted to the sin bin.
Yeah, that's number 27 in the orange and black. Mavericks penalty kill has been good all season long. The conference finals were no exception. And the good news is they're coming off a team that hasn't had a ton of power play success in the postseason. The Mavericks looking to have a good start to the penalty kill here early in the first period.
Mavericks penalty kill throughout the playoffs, 39 for 47, good for 83% on the PK. Florida's power play struggled immensely in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Wheeling Nailers. They went 0 for 22. Power play is one area, one of the very few areas in which the Everblades have struggled in the regular season and the playoffs. Low height, able to clear it. Getting it off the stick of Berzola and back into the Florida zone. So the outlet pass from Kite bounces off the boards on the near side. Recovered by Florida. Kite from the blue line guides it up. Far half wall. The Mavericks win possession of the puck. Good physical play by Jones. KC able to clear it down the length. Kite to scoop it up behind his own net. He guides it to his right. This will be Reed Duke. Backhand pass to his right. Be given from Gisevich up to the line. Gisevich gets the return in the slot with a shot, and it's just wide. It'll bounce to Kite. Now to Gisevich at the right point. His shot is off target as it'll bounce to the near wall. Reed Duke battling Marcus Crawford along the boards. Jackson Jutting not able to clear it. Good stick by Randall to force it out to center. Zach Bersola's got it in his own zone. 50 seconds remain on this Florida power play, their first of the game. 3 minutes have expired here in game one of the Kelly Cup Finals. We are scoreless between the Mavericks and the Florida Everblades. This is Hudson Elenick. He sidesteps a body, spins far corner, slides it to the point. And Sambrook gave it away at the blue line. The Mavericks not able to clear it. Good stick by Sam Stang. He drops it back. Left point, long shot, deflects off the skates of Romano, and the Mavericks clear it down. Sambrook skates back to get it with time winding down on the Florida power play. And we'll guide it out to Romano, Florida's top scorer during the regular season and during the playoffs. And a point-per-game player during the postseason. The Mavericks have killed off the penalty to McLaughlin. He is out of the box. Big hit thrown on Stang. Long point shot, deflects off a skate. Ewens blocked it. Stang with a shot. Save LaFontaine. Loose, knocked to the side. Off the half wall, it'll bounce. Connor Doherty pinches and shovels it along the boards to the near side. Low height. Sends it past his own blue line, but not much further than that. Lambden is caught on an offside for Florida.
Really nice job by the Mavericks penalty killers, and you can tell this crowd is ready for finals hockey. Every good play that is being made on the ice, whether it's a nice pass breakup, a good clear on the PK, it's just a roar from this crowd. The Orange Army, the Mavericks faithful, they've been waiting 2 years for this. They wanted this rematch, and they got it. And you can tell they're just as invested into it as the players are.
A lot of members of this Orange Army remember all too well the pain of losing in the Kelly Cup Finals 2 years ago to this Everblades team. A team that features many returners. Not just players, but coaches as well. Both Tato Had and Brad Ralph were leading their teams during that final series. There's a long point shot, deflects wide of the goal. Lucas Sauter along the half wall, springs it ahead. Carpenter out to Janicki. He drives wide. Lost the puck. This is Craig Needham. Slides off his stick. It'll be recovered in the neutral zone by Jet Jones. Now Kite needs to gallop out to the blue line. His pass missing Jones's stick. This will be an icing called against the Everblades with 15:15 to go in the first period. Shots just one apiece. No score between the Mavericks and the Everblades. These teams have not played a game against one another since Game 5 of the Kelly Cup Finals 2 years ago, June 8th, 2024. That was these teams' last meeting. Florida won that game 4-3 in overtime to complete the three-peat, a three-peat that was snapped last season at the hands of the Trois-Rivières Lions, a team that Jakob Novak was a huge part of during their playoff run. The Mavericks trying to see to it that that dynasty does not continue any longer. Florida trying to recreate another streak. 2026. Lansdell forced the puck out. Ewens in his own zone. Two-time Kelly Cup champion up the middle, deflected into the offensive zone by is played by Ewens. Looks like that blue line barely, so the Mavericks are on the side, and so the whistle blows. Minutes and 8 seconds into the first period. Like Sean mentioned during the pre-season, two of the league's best goaltender tonight as well. And one highlighted Cam Johnson, who's been one of the best in this league for years. Jack LaFontaine, Johnson, and Locke were number 1 and number 2 in MVP season, respectively, for goaltenders. Top goal board, I should say. As Novak slams it off the board. He's swatted down by Needham. He drops it, a shot, blocked. Bounce to the corner, near side. Sevic taking a big hit by Novak into the corner. Mavericks will get it out and get some changes under. Sandbrook put it over the line. Needham chops it in behind the Mavericks net. Loose puck, side of the net. Lambden, scoop Florida. Puts on the brakes, guides it back. Gisevich is the puck to Kite at the blue line, long through a screen, blocked. Sling to ice, it'll be deflected into the Florida zone by Jack. Kite, the puck carrier, Sam bended, lost his footing. Everblades march it out to neutral ice. Sliding puck will be swatted along the line. Randall, McLaughlin. Up ice, wanted to go in. He is off several blows. Crowd not liking the close call. This is the very first call, and this is the first media time up of the Kelly Cup Finals. We'll be back right after this. You can.
When you have a financier that invests in every part of you and helps it feel like a star. Member owned, Banal. Community America invested in you.
Our railroad moves America.
Creating our legacy of excellence with smile.
Leaders in innovation and service.
Try this again. Hudson deflected. LaFontaine pick after taking Elenick. Wilson lobs the puck. No icing. Bersos is after it for the Everblade. Low height. Crash boards to battle for the puck. He springs it loose. Kowski ripping it towards the net. It was blocked. As the puck from the Mavericks blue line deflects out of play into 17. And Elenick now changing sides.
It wasn't a matter of if, it was just a matter of when extracurricular activities would start. Took just about 6.5 minutes. This fourth line this game, Luke Lowhite, Nolan Sullivan, and Zowski for the Mavericks. It's safe to say a good other team's second lines, maybe, second to third line range, just the depth with those guys, the defensive capabilities for this squad, off the chart. We talked about the Mavericks being as deep as they are ever, with coming back into the lineup, returning from injury throughout the season, and it's one thing to see it on paper, it's another to see it out on the ice.
Yeah, that's right. Been the Mavericks' greatest strength all season has depth. And that theme has continued well into the season. We're nearly 7 minutes into this, still scoreless, just one shot each. Carpenter turns it on net, Johnson the save. Tough angle shot from Carpenter, his teammate. And the Everblades able to march out possession of the puck. It'll be fired on net from center ice. Doherty, that shot. LaFontaine with no trouble there. Glove snag.
This top line for the Dynamite this postseason, consisting of Souter, Bobo Carpenter, and Justin Janicki. Took them most of the regular season to deploy this line with all three of those guys together. And they have run with it. They have not looked back. Tad has made a couple of changes in this season run so far with some of the personnel. He has not touched that line. And a good reason. They are likely difference makers on the ice. The Mavericks here at home.
Right. After the Mavericks' only multi-goal loss of these playoffs was Game 5 against Fort Wayne on the road. And after that loss, Tab had switched up every forward line except for that one. He left it exactly as it was. And that turned out a good call, Sean, as they were excellent in Game 6 against Fort Wayne, a game in which the Mavericks were able to eliminate the Comets and advance to the Kelly Cup Finals. Cotton cuts off the clearing attempt, feeds McLaughlin point, long shot, skitters well wide. And the Everblades quickly able to exit their own zone. Lansdale guides it outside of the reach of Stang. McLaughlin able to get there first, wants it up to Cotton. He connects with McCallum. Swivels through center, guides it ahead. Wanted Novak, intercepted by Lansdale. He will backhand rink wide. Betts backhands it below the goal line. And now it'll be Charlie Wright for KC. Shovels it off the boards and that. It'll be swatted away from Riddle in the neutral zone and out of play. And Sean, you were sort of mid when it came to Charlie Wright. He's back in the lineup. Good to see him back wearing the lunch here tonight. He's going to add a spark to that right side of the defense.
Absolutely. He's a fantastic hockey player. The skating ability, the skills, the hand quickness. He can really do it all along the blue line. Spent most of the season playing with the Coachella Firebirds in the American Hockey League. Spent a dozen games down here at the Mavericks and was impressive in all of them. And got sent down a couple weeks ago, but was dealing with some injuries, and just great to see him in the lineup here today.
Hudson Wilson clears a dangerous puck from his own slot. Glynn, that is the bulk of that contact from Kite. That'll be given behind the net. Hudson Wilson is there for the Mavericks. He's met by Kite inside of the Florida trapezoid. The Everblades slide it towards the Mavericks blue line. Jones up to Jutting. Good skate tick reception. Gallops into the Everblades zone. Offside is the call against the Mavericks. There's been a lot of these close offside calls that have seemingly not gone the Mavericks' way in this period so far.
Yeah, not so far, but Jackson Jutting, a rookie, I think he just gets thumps a little bit here as he's skating into pressure. He kind of goes horizontally on the blue line instead of getting that puck over the blue line. This Mavericks group, they are very young. They've got a bunch of rookies on this team playing in this game, but that scared them one bit.
The Mavericks with far more rookies on their roster than the Everblades have. Coming to Kelly Cup Finals. Mavericks with 7 rookies, the Everblades with just 2. Here's a centering from Elenek, intercepted by the Mavericks, swatted to the half wall near side. Elenek to point, long wrister, missing glove side, as it'll carry him to low height along the half wall. He sends it to Sullivan, his longtime mate. Sullivan just sends it on net. Johnson, no trouble there. We'll hang on to that. And Sean, we're seeing how stingy the Everblades are defensively. It's very hard to find space in the offensive zone against these guys. We've already seen that in the first 9 minutes of this one.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason Cam Johnson's statistics are what they are. A, he's a fantastic goaltender. B, his team plays unbelievable defense in front of him. Just 5 shots on goal in the 9 minutes of this game combined. The Mavericks have them. Florida has had opportunities in which they didn't get a shot on goal. Very even so far between these two teams.
Mavericks with a chance here, offensive zone draw, but Jones is able to Carpenter. The Everblades send it ahead, offside is the call, and Crawford didn't like that lead shot, taken by Reed Duke. Sort of, I don't know, that was a one. Seemed like the shot happening right after or right after whistle was blowing for the offside. And face-off is going to come to the new zone, looks like. Perhaps all the way back to the Florida zone. This will be the face-off circle nearest the penalty boxes. So 9 minutes have expired here in game 1. Max out shooting the Everblades 4-1, but we are scoreless. Puck is down. Carpenter comes away with it on the draw, but Florida able to swarm him immediately. Here's Crawford in his own zone. Pops it ahead. Never reached Janicki. It was interrupted as Ewens turns to go get it. Ewens, nice skating, nice hands, emerges with the puck, guides it ahead. Sauter with speed, enters the attacking zone, leaves it for Janicki. Right circle, Janicki with a shot. Save Johnson, and he's got it.
And a chance here for this top line. Once again, it's created by the phenomenal skating ability of Zach Ewens. He's able to just pick this puck up in the defense zone, hit a little bit of a twirl, and get all the way out towards the defensive blue line before he has to make that first pass. He's able to interrupt the skating path of Cooper, allows Janicki.
D-to-D, Ewens into the slot. McCallum shovels it towards the front of the net. Down midair and in! Jakub Novak! He's got another one! And the Mavericks take a 1-0 lead.
Well, there's that first goal. Jakub Novak scored the OT winner to send this match group here on Tuesday night. And we'll get the ball rolling. They are going to take a review to make sure this wasn't played by high. You see the puck pop in air. I think it hits the defenseman's hand. And it is sitting in the air.
It's close.
That is very, very close.
The standard is the height of the crossbar. If the stick makes contact with the puck below the height of the crossbar, it is a good goal. If it's inconclusive based on the review, then the goal should stand because it was a good goal on the ice. And so for this to be overturned, you'll need conclusive evidence that Novak's stick made contact with the puck above the height of the crossbar. Let's have another look.
Yeah, that one's going to be very, very close here. It pops up into the air on 2 occasions. I think that's McCallum, who just lifts the puck in the air, and then I think it hits one of the floor fenders and is still sitting midair. And Novak's able to bat it out of midair. And I think this one might have to come down to what the referees called on the ice, because I don't know how you could return this.
Right. I mean, you're splitting hair looking at it.
It looked like Novak's stick motion was also going downward. So that'll make it very tough for the officials to see if it was above that when it made contact with the puck or not.
Novak is a taller player standing at 6'3".
Decide whether this goal counts or not.
What a
remarkable display of game court by Jakub Novak. I mean, that is a YouTube goal.
Exactly. And just as well as that, I mean, 6-1 the shots on goal. Notwithstanding the power play that the Florida Everblades had, the Mavericks have gotten out to a very good start in name, and you know, we've seen them as a series against the Fort Wayne Comets. A good start always awarded for their stellar play in the third with a lead here. And we're going to get the call on the ice here in a moment.
Here's Logan Gruel. Mic cut out, but the universal signal for goal stood, and the crowd knew exactly what it meant. The Mavericks take a 1-0 lead and have done what no other team has been able to do in these playoffs. Score the first goal against the Florida Everblades. This is an Everblades team that has been virtually unbeatable when they score the first goal, and so the Mavericks with a massive advantage by getting on the board first. The Everblades looked like they were offside, and they were. He was carried across the blue line by Reese Zamolik, the defenseman. Jakub Novak just continues with the red-hot stick, and it's his 6th goal of the playoffs. All 6 of them have been in the last 2 series, from the Fort Wayne series to now. He's been virtually a goal-per-game player since game 1 against Fort Wayne. So the Everblades will look to respond quickly. They have it behind their own net. He's guided to the right side. Moberg off the boards and out. This is Carson Gasevich, knocked down by Jones. Jones stays on it, leaves it back for Jutting. Now it's Wilson in his own end. We've crossed the midway point of the first period. 1-0 the score in favor of KC. Jakub Novak, the lone goal scorer to this point. And if you go back to Game 6 against Fort Wayne, Novak has scored 3 consecutive Mavericks goals. LaFontaine can't clear it. Loose puck. Elnick twisted up the slot. Moberg shot just missed. Off the backboard bounce. It'll be scooped up by McLaughlin. He chips it off the boards. Ahead to Janicki. Janicki's pass not reaching Carpenter. The Everblades back in control. Hudson Elnick backhands it along for Moberg. He will work his way out to the red line. Pops it ahead. Nice pass. Chow left circle. Fan on the shot. He is decked by Sullivan. And the crowd loves that. Here come the Mavericks. Low height for Charlie Wright. The Mavericks are onside, but the Everblades quickly able to clear that puck out. Charlie Wright's got to turn and go get it. We get a whistle here. This might be a bench minor.
I think they're calling icing here. They're getting all the Florida Everblades players back out onto the ice. They tipped that puck ahead of the red line, and Charlie Wright wasn't able to get to it in time, so that's why they're going to get the icing. But how about that hit from Nolan Sullivan on Chow? Chow 2 seasons ago. Holy, he was good. Won MVP in that series for a very good reason. So the more you can keep him on the ice, or like laying horizontally on the ice, I should say, the better.
Oliver Chow, the captain of this Everblades team, his 2nd year as the captain. He's won a championship at virtually every level. Won 1 in juniors in the NCAA and 2 in the ECHL. And like Sean mentioned, playoff MVP in 2024 at 23 points during that playoff run. Florida winning the defensive zone face-off. Moberg clears it. That one goes off of a Florida player on the bench, so they will now be allowed to change. We're heading to our 2nd media timeout of this hockey game. 1-0 Mavericks is your score with 8:39 to go in the first. Keep it right here, Mavs Country. We'll be right back.
How do I get rid of it? Just drink a ton of water.
My mama said tea with local honey works wonders on a sore throat.
Got the ginger soup. The best remedy? Essential oils.
Dude, don't worry about it. Always works.
Health question? Get expert advice. Consult a nurse. It's free.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need today. With over 60 providers and 7 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
Mavericks played against his brother this season, Will Zamolek, who's part of the Iowa Heartlanders at one point. Here come the Everblades. Sent off the side of the net by Berzola. Cotton not able to clear it past the blue line. Ewens takes a swat at it, can't clear it. Berzola. Here comes to the near side, Reed Duke to the line, shot, stopped by LaFontaine. It'll be recovered by Lansdell near half wall. Swatted out of midair. Cotton off the glass, can't clear it. The Everblades doing an excellent job swarming the puck carrier, not allowing the Mavericks to get zone exits. So a 5-player scrum ensues along the half wall on the far side of the KC zone. Lots of pushes and shoves going on. The other side really able to move it until finally it comes in behind the net. Sam Stang defended by Ewens. Lansdell closed off of it by Wilson. Novak nudges it along for Jimmy Glynn. Checked by Stang. It'll be recovered by the Everblades in their own zone and worked up to the near side. Betts shoots, blocked. It'll bounce to Stang. Stang guides it out to the far boards. Randall begins to accelerate down the left side. Inside of the final 7 minutes here of period 1, the Mavericks leading 1-0 in game 1. Low height, physical play along the boards. The Everblades able to clear it to center ice. Now McLaughlin to Jones. Part of that Mavericks team back in 2024. Souter gave it away to Kite at the Florida blue line. Lambden stays on his skates, maintains possession. He twirls from Jones. Lambden moves it. Gasevich will roll it out to Moberg at the right point. Long wrist shot, tipped wide. Luke Lowhite shovels it behind his own net. It slides into the corner occupied by McLaughlin. Ahead for Souter. The Mavericks skate out with it. Souter to Lowhite. Lowhite attempts to return to Souter, just past his outstretched stick. I think Souter wanted a penalty, nothing called. That puck will wobble its way onto Charlie Wright's blade near the red line. Wright will send it clockwise back into Florida ice. Janicki applies the pressure on the puck carrier. Moberg around the boards, not out. Sullivan jostling for it. This time Florida's able to get it as far as the Mavericks blue line. Taken away by KC. Offside is called against the Mavericks. Berezowski played that puck across the blue line. Sullivan and Janicki were both crossing it at the same time. It looked like we're going to step aside, Mavs country. Keep it right here. You're watching and listening to KC Mavericks Hockey.
How do I get rid of it? Just drink a ton of water.
My mama said tea with local honey works wonders on a sore throat.
Got the ginger soup.
The best remedy? Essential oils.
Dude, don't worry about it. Always works.
Health question? Get expert advice. Consult a nurse. It's free.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need today. With over 60 providers and 7 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
Welcome back, folks. Here's a look at Mavericks head coach and GM Tad O'Had in his 6th season as the head coach of the Mavericks, the winningest head coach in Mavericks franchise history. He's led the team to the playoffs in now 4 consecutive seasons. He coached the Florida Everblades for 7 years, from 2013 to 2020, as both an assistant and as an associate coach down in Florida. Much of that time was spent under the tutelage of Brad Ralph, who was the Florida Everblades' current head coach. The Mavericks able to clear this puck past their own line. He nudged ahead for Chow. He's met by Sullivan. Sullivan got it to Berezowski. He will dump it in. Berzola. Zamolik off the boards and out. Chow. He links up with Berzola into the slot. Good pressure on the back check by Novak. Cotton curls with it in the neutral zone. Feeds Novak across the Florida line. Gives it across. McCallum shoots. Stopped by Johnson. He got just a piece of it. Novak guides it down to Cotton. Now McCallum, bottom of the circle. Tries to bounce it over. It'll flutter its way back across the blue line. The Mavericks reorganize at center. Cotton rims it into Florida territory. McCallum springs it free. Novak works it around to Crawford, right wall. Just zips a diagonal pass across the Florida zone. The Everblades with some crafty work in their own end to clear it. Now Randall steps over the Florida line, maintains possession. Randall driving, gave it over. Judding couldn't get a shot. Randall gets back on it. Leaves it off for Judding, far corner. Tries to center it for Glenn. Hops to Crawford, right wall. Chips it off the corner boards on the near side. Randall fighting for it. 4 minutes to go in the first. 1-0 Mavericks. And Florida able to pounce on that loose puck. Jet Jones works it as far as the Mavericks blue line. Now Lansdell will dump it in. Ewens. Bit of an awkward collision between Ewens and Lansdell. Meanwhile, it's Glenn tipping it into the Florida zone. 3.5 to go in the first. Pretty low shooting period so far. The Mavericks with 6 shots on goal. Florida with a meager 2. Puck is redirected ahead. McLaughlin's got to hurry. He's got Stang hot on his heels. Stang behind the net to Betts. Cornell graduate up to the point. Moberg, wrist shot through a screen, just missed. Charlie Wright for the Mavericks. Under a lot of pressure from Lansdell. He just sends it to the safety of the trapezoid behind his own net. McLaughlin will feed it back to him. McLaughlin from the red line. Fires it around the boards into the Florida zone. Moberg backhands it up to the near wall. Wilson back in control for KC. Slides it to Jones. Berezowski jostling for the puck. Sullivan will swing it across the red line. Hudson Wilson's got some space. He fires, scores! Hudson Wilson with a howitzer to beat Cam Johnson. And he's going to keep that puck. The Mavericks take a 2-0 lead.
Woo! Hudson Wilson, what a shot! Calls for the puck in the neutral zone. He picks this thing up at the red line in the unlikeliest of heroes in game 1. From outside of the faceoff dot. Goes near side over the shoulder and in the back of the net. Did not have that one on my bingo card tonight, Alex. I don't know about you.
I mean, he could take that shot 100 times. I don't think he could have placed it any better. That is Hudson Wilson's first playoff goal. season, and you wouldn't know it based on that shot. That was a goal scorer's goal. Mavericks win possession below the goal line. This Janicki surveyed. Centers it, Carpenter shoots, stopped by Johnson. The Mavericks looking for lightning in a bottle, but Johnson said no.
Inches from becoming 3-0 early in this game. The Mavericks love playing here at home. The crowd gets them into it. They feed off of them, and they are off and running here in game one.
Absolutely. Mavericks quadrupling the Everblades in shots, 8-2. 2-0 the score in favor of KC with 2:11 to go in the first period. Mavericks with, I mean, both of their goals, frankly, were highlight reel plays. One of them was a borderline circus act by Jakub Novak, and the next was the snipe of all snipes to beat the goaltender of the year cleanly from above the face-off circles from Hudson Wilson. Patrick Kite had some trouble with that. It slides on net. Johnson will hang on to it. And Sean, you said during the pregame show, if you score cleanly against Johnson to keep the puck, I don't know. I think both Novak and Wilson should be keeping those ones.
You know, there is a chance Gisevich, who was pressuring Wilson on his shot, he launched a late stick in there, and you got to wonder, with how good Cam Johnson is, if his stick caught a piece of the puck and changed the trajectory at the point of the shot. But, I mean, it's so far out regardless. Right. It was just an unbelievable shot by Wilson.
Oh, it was perfect, right over the shoulder. Really not much, as good as Johnson is, not much even he could do about it. This could not have been placed any better by Hudson Wilson, regardless of whether it got a friendly bounce off Gisevich's stick. Here come the Everblades. Jet Jones slides it down the near corner. And Duke behind the net. As Oliver Cooper dispossessed of it. It'll be slapped up to McCallum. He's stripped of it by Duke in the neutral zone. Dumped into Florida ice. Patrick Kite fakes right, goes left, feeds it to Jet Jones on the left flank. He twirls from Randall. As it'll be popped over Charlie Wright's stick. He goes it back and behind his own net to get it. And he slid into the low slot. Jimmy Glynn interrupting that play. Now jutting out to the red line. Flies it to the left corner of the Florida zone. Jack Randall's first on the scene. He's met by Moberg. Moberg's clearing attempt fails. McLaughlin's shot is blocked. And the Everblades are out to center. Elenick. His pass goes off a KC stick. Given behind the net. Oliver Chow. Elenick turns. Chow. Couldn't get a shot there. Drive from Moberg. That goes well wide. Might have been a slap pass. As Doherty played it from across the blue line, so offside is the call against Florida with 42 seconds to go in the period. During the regular season, when scoring the first goal, the Mavericks had a record of 40 wins, 2 losses, 2 overtime losses. The Everblades, when allowing the first goal, 13, 10, and 5. A respectable record under those circumstances, but what you want to avoid more than anything is allowing Florida to score first, because in those circumstances, they've been virtually unbeatable. Both of these teams with an identical record heading into tonight's game. Both of them during the playoffs with a record of 12-2. I suppose if you count overtime losses, it's slightly different because Florida's technically 12-1-1. The Mavericks are 12-2-0, but a loss is a loss in the playoffs. The point system doesn't really exist. So here comes Sullivan with a burst of speed into the attacking zone. He's got it on his backhand. He centers it, tapped out of there, and the Florida Everblades can't clear it. Here's Berezowski shooting, stopped. Rebound to low height. In behind the net, 18 seconds. There's a loose stick down there near Cam Johnson. Florida marching out to the neutral zone. It'll be guided down to the near corner, Sam Stang. To Lansdell, he tried to center it. Doherty was well covered. The Mavericks clear it, and that'll do it. 20 minutes in the books. The Mavericks with a fantastic start to the Kelly Cup Finals here in Game 1. They showed up to play. They lead 2-0 through one period of play. Shots 10-2 favoring KC. And You know, Chad, we thought that the first period against Fort Wayne was good, allowing just 3 shots to the Comets. They've allowed just 2 to the Eastern Conference champions through 20 minutes.
Yeah, and what the Mavericks are also doing is a lot of physicality and a lot of pressure right in the neutral zone, making it very hard for the Florida Everblades to even get anything going into their own offensive zone. And then once they do get it in there, they're doing a great job with physicality and blocking passes down in the in their own defensive zone and just not letting them set anything up.
That's right. And so we're going to send it down to Sean Carrier shortly, who's standing by with Mavericks head coach and GM Tad O'Had. Let's send it down to Sean right now.
Coach, Kelly Cup Finals, how excited are you and the group to be here right now?
I'm so excited to be here. You know, great fan base supporting us. Excited game one.
Great start to that first period. What's working for you guys and how do you keep this up?
I like your basic play. You know, I like your physicality and just continue to manage us.
Coach, thank you. Best of luck in the second.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. That was Sean Carrier with Tad O'Had. We're going to step aside Mavs Country. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at that first period and more. Keep it right here, Mavs Country. You're watching and listening to KC Mavericks Playoff Hockey.
All right. Breathe out for me. Big breath in. Just relax. Big breath in for me. 1, 2, 3. Is your technology out of alignment? Let GFI Digital give it the adjustment it needs. Realigning your business with smarter, more efficient solutions. Whether it's the latest in copiers and printers, managed IT, or advanced technology services, GFI Digital has you covered from head to toe. Because at GFI Digital, we make technology simple.
It's Coyote season now at Teague Tractor in Belton. If you need a machine that lifts, loads, pulls, and digs, wherever you need it, there's a Coyote right for you. See the full pack of Coyote tractors and skid steers at Teague Tractor. Durable, versatile, yet comfortable and convenient. Teague will put you in the Coyote with all the demands and features you require. Teague is a complete Coyote dealer with parts and full service. Pick your tough Coyote today at family-owned Teague Tractor, right off I-49 Belton.
Get ready for a wild adventure at the Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium. Experience the thrill of the animal kingdom like never before. Dive into Sobella Ocean Aquarium and discover the wonders of the deep blue sea. From fun rides to tasty treats, there's excitement around every corner. Create unforgettable memories with your favorite animals and favorite people. Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium, where every visit is a new adventure. Plan your visit today.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals. Alex Von Coydel alongside Sean Carrier and Chad Neal with you tonight on the Mavericks Broadcast Network. It was a heck of a start to these Kelly Cup Finals for the Mavericks. They didn't take too long to get the ball rolling. Jakub Novak swatting a puck out of midair past Cam Johnson, and Hudson Wilson sniping one past Johnson as well from above the right circle. 2 goals that we probably didn't expect to see, Sean, against a very stingy Everblades team. The Mavericks have already scored more goals than the Everblades have allowed on average throughout an entire game during the season. They're the only team to allow fewer than 2 goals against per game this season. The Mavericks are already at 2, so they're off to a great start. And let's start with that goal by Novak. I mean, you know, this guy just seems like once he's hot, he's borderline impossible to cool off. I mean, like I said in the pregame show, every goal he's scored seems to get more and more electric than the last one. That was no exception. I mean, that was just an exceptional play.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. He also had a fantastic pass to Landon McCallum, kind of across the offensive zone, and McCallum just got stopped by Cam Johnson on a fantastic scoring opportunity. That line, in particular, has been all over the ice in the best way possible in that first period. Jakub Novak specifically, he just does everything right. Playing that center position, you have so much responsibility, both offensively, but more importantly, defensively. You're seeing him make good breakout passes from behind the goal line in the Mavericks' own zone, zone when they need it. You see him, doing things well in the offensive zone, i.e. the tip, obviously, but he's just playing with a ton of confidence right now, playing with a ton of pace. Everything is clicking for him right now. The hand-eye coordination on that goal off the charts, and just got to hope that he can keep it up, because he really has taken over. He took over the Western Conference Final. And obviously, we hope he does the same here in the Kelly Cup Final.
Yeah, that's right. And of all the Mavericks players who have won a Kelly Cup at some point, Novak is the only one who didn't win it with the Everblades. So he's been, and last year he was a big part of the reason that the Trois-Rivières Lions were able to defeat the Everblades and advance to the Kelly Cup Finals. And so he's become something of a nemesis of this Everblades team. And so I'd love to see him continuing to have the same level of success he had against Fort Wayne. He's become a focal point of this Mavericks attack. And with that goal that he scored, it was just sensational. The Mavericks offense would not stop there. Hudson Wilson, about 8 minutes later, with a snipe of all snipes above the right circle. A pretty unsuspecting, relatively innocuous looking shot from a defenseman who had not scored a goal in these playoffs. So I don't know that Cam Johnson just wasn't prepared for how perfect of a shot he was about to face or what, but it just beat him inside the crossbar, over the shoulder. Perfect shot from Hudson Wilson. You love to see that, Sean, from a guy whose primary responsibility involves shutting down opposing players, the opposing top players. You love to see a guy like that score a goal every now and then, especially when it's one like that.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not, game 47 of the regular season. This is game 1 of the Kelly Cup Final. Hudson Wilson is in this lineup for a very specific reason. He's a great penalty killer. He's great defensively, and he's that physical presence if the team were to really need it in any sort of fighting situation. He really can lay down the law. And man, when he's getting activated offensively as well, we know he can rip the puck. Like you mentioned, just perfectly placed shot. I think the entire arena thought that, he was going to try to shoot for a rebound. He had a couple Mavericks players kind of crashing towards the net with some of those Florida defenders on the far side of the ice. What does he do? Puts it short side right up over the shoulder and builds this lead to 2. Fantastic shot. Saw a lot of the guys give him stick taps, a lot of, let's expletive goes down the tunnel, so there's a lot of excitement with this hockey team right now for very good reason. And man, when Hudson Wilson finds the back of the net, it's a cause for celebration. So good for him. Fantastic shot. And the Mavericks feel great. That's a big goal. It's a great goal. They had a fantastic first period, but it's one if you only have a 1-goal lead to show for it when you quintuple a team in shots in the first period, you just kind of, you don't necessarily feel lost, but you know that one opportunity, one bad bounce can change everything in this game. And so for Hudson Wilson to compound on that lead, give this team a little bit of extra morale boost heading into that first intermission, it's fantastic stuff. This Mavericks team, they're in a great spot. They put the Florida Everblades in a situation that they have not been in this postseason. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they can continue to build off of it and hopefully find that third one here in the second.
That's exactly right. And when the Mavericks lead after the first period in these playoffs, they've got a perfect 4-0 record. When scoring the first goal in these playoffs, the Mavericks with a perfect 8-0 record. So they are in a fantastic spot here following 20 minutes of play. When we come back, Mavs Country, we're going to take a look at an interview. Sean Carey had a chance to catch up with Mavericks head coach and GM Tad O'Had. That is coming your way right after this. Keep it right here, Mavs Country. You're watching and listening to KC Mavericks Playoff Hockey.
The upper echelon. That is our guiding principle. The extraordinary. At every level, at every turn, and in every interaction. Why? Simple. To offer the absolute finest luxury car experience in Kansas City. That is what it means to be an aristocrat. Aristocrat Motors, where we treat every driver like royalty.
have a financial partner that invests in every part of you, you can't help but feel like a star. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
All right, Coach, now just, a couple days removed, but looking back, how was the rest of your Monday night after that big conference final win?
You know what, it's pretty exciting. It was a long night, a stress-filled night, but I'll tell you what, guys got it done. They found a way, and I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to the Kelly Cup Finals.
Still playing hockey in June. Just how exciting is it to make it this far in the postseason and get back to this point with your group?
Yeah, you know what, I talked to the guys this morning about it. There's 6 teams that are playing professional hockey in June 4th in the world. World Championships are over, Europe's over. There's 6 teams, 2 in the NHL, 2 in the American Hockey League, and 2 in the ECHL. If you're playing hockey on June 4th, you've done something well. It's something to cherish, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of it, and it's even more excited this matchup. This is a heavyweight matchup, and I'll tell you what, it's very deserving for these guys.
Coming off of a Brabham Cup winning regular season, just how exciting is it to have the opportunity to take on a team like the Florida Everblades, a team that has had a lot of postseason success in recent memory, and truly stare down a real big challenge in those guys?
Yeah, you know what? We've had a phenomenal season. This has been a goal of ours from day one in training camp. It's what we strive for. Brabham Cup championship, every single regular season game we set forth to play our best with the win the next mindset. But our ultimate goal is to get to the Kelly Cup Finals and win the Kelly Cup Finals. And every round you play a better team. And that's indicative of here. Florida's a very talented team. They've been in the finals here, for the past 5 years, and I'll tell you what, it's a well-coached team. It's a well-played team. If you want to be the best, you got to go through the best. And I'll tell you what, you've got a heavyweight battle on your hands, Kansas City versus Florida. 3 years ago we were here, and once again, so excited.
We've heard about your team's care factor all season long. Just as you get closer and closer to the end of the season, now playing for the ultimate prize, how have you noticed your team's focus really hone in here in the past couple weeks?
They've always been incredibly focused. They play for one another. They're stoic in nature. Saw that, the other night. We let up that goal with 5 seconds left. I come in the room in between, third period and overtime, and they're locked in. They're ready to go. Most teams, they would, be upset. They'd let something like that affected them. That wasn't the case at all. Those guys were locked in. This is a very tight group. This is a group with a lot of experience. We have 11 players that have Kelly Cup experience, and we've got a lot of leadership on this group.
All right, with that, we'll open it up. Welcome back inside the Cable Dom Arena for Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals between the Kansas City Mavericks and the Florida Everblades. The Mavericks having a great first period, up 2-0, out shooting the Florida Everblades 10-2 in that first period. Florida was the only team with a power play in that first period as well. And Chad, one of the things that stood out to me about doing that interview with Tad, we were able to catch up with him after practice yesterday, was he said, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's the mentality for this group, and the Mavericks, for all the success, all the accolades they had in this regular season, they know nothing matters but this series. The Florida Everblades three-peated, going back outside of last year, the 3 championships before that. Really exciting to see this group. They, in their minds, they haven't accomplished anything yet.
No, and it feels like they have, but you're right, they haven't done anything yet, and they're facing a very good team that has historically, over the last few years, just been what the Kelly Cup Finals have been about, because they've been in it 4 out of the last 5 years. So this is the challenge, and they've accepted that in this first period, and they've taken it right to Florida. From a shots on goal, from the goals, but then from the physicality part. And me and Alex were talking about that when you went downstairs to get ready for the first interview on the intermission. And the physicality that has been brought to the Everblades so far has just been awesome. In the neutral zone, Sullivan, Chow going at it a couple times. And you made a comment in that first period, as good of a player as Chow is, it's nice if you can kind of put him horizontally on the ice, and Sullivan was doing that and locking him up in that first period. So
exactly. So we're going to take a look now at our first period highlight. It was a pretty entertaining first period, Alex. The Mavericks got right out to the jump when they wanted to, and hopefully we can get those up here in a second. And Take a look here. This building, more than anything else, they've been rocking, they've been ready for this, and they've been loud.
Yes, they have. The Orange Army showing out in full force here for Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals. Here was that first goal scored by Jakub Novak. Unbelievable stuff from number 10.
Yeah, just incredible hand-eye there. McCallum with kind of a harmless chip in and get the puck towards the front of the net. You can make a play. I think that takes a double doink off of the glove and then off of the helmet of Kyle Betts, and Novak capitalizes.
Yeah, that's, you got to give McCallum a lot of credit for just keeping the puck in the attacking zone as well, getting a lot of leverage on that backhander. And then here's the snipe from Hudson Wilson from the right circle.
We could watch this. I'm probably going to watch this 100 times tonight after this game. I mean, the most unlikely guy to probably do this. And
Gacevich didn't touch it, Sean.
Yeah, just the most unbelievable snipe here. It's just a fantastic shot placement. Cam Johnson, we spent a lot of our pregame talking about how good he is. And it doesn't seem to matter there for Hudson Wilson.
That's right. So we're going to take a quick pause, Mavs country. Second period action is next here in Game 1.
Our railroad moves North America,
expanding our legacy of excellence with each mile.
as leaders in innovation and service.
We are united by hard work and pride.
We safely deliver every day,
Connecting people,
connecting communities.
connecting nations.
We are CPKC. Together, we go places no one else can go.
How do I get rid of it? Just drink a ton of water.
My mama said tea with local honey works wonders on a sore throat.
Got the ginger soup.
The best remedy? Essential oils.
Dude, don't worry about it. Always works.
Health question? Get expert advice. Consult a nurse. It's free.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need today. With over 60 providers and 7 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
Breathe out for me. Big breath in. Just relax. Big breath in for me. 1, 2, 3.
Is your technology out of alignment? Let GFI Digital give it the adjustment it needs, realigning your business with smarter, more efficient solutions. Whether it's the latest in copiers and printers, managed IT, or advanced technology services, GFI Digital has you covered from head to toe. Because at GFI Digital...
All right, welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals. Alex Von Keudel, along with Sean Carrier and Chad Neal, glad you decided to join us here for Game 1. The Mavericks hosting the Florida Everblades. These two teams meeting in the finals for the second time in the last 3 seasons. Both of them were eliminated in their respective conference finals last season, but getting right back at it. The Mavericks trying to win their first Kelly Cup in franchise history. The Everblades trying to get their 5th Kelly Cup title. The Mavericks off to a good start, leading 2-0 as second period action is now underway. The clearing attempt, however, from Wilson fails. It'll be hacked down the boards. Wilson this time able to pop it out to center. Good play by Janicki, swatting it down with his glove as he will roll it deep into Florida territory. Plays the body on Kite. His clearing attempt cut off. Carpenter with a shot. Goes well wide. It'll bounce off the glass. Swatted off the boards. Recovered by Sam Brook. He will bank it back to Kite. Patrick Kite up the right side. The Mavericks recover it in their own zone. Jones's pass intercepted by Moberg. Moberg plays it up ice. Here's a shot into the glove of LaFontaine. Craig Needham taking that shot for Florida.
You got to imagine Florida's going to try to bring it in this second period. We've talked a lot about them being in uncharted territory. Very rarely have they trailed by more than 1 goal in this playoff run so far, but they're a fantastic hockey team. It's more of a credit to them that this hasn't happened to them yet than it is a knock that right now that they might not be able to overcome it. So the Mavericks really going to have to be aware defensively and still try to ramp up their pressure themselves too.
That's right. And during these playoffs, like we mentioned, Florida scored the first goal in every single game of these playoffs until tonight. As a drive by Moberg is off the mark. And then during the regular season, they had scored the first goal in more than 60% of their games as well. Will be swung up to the left point, and Doherty guides it to the far corner. This is Craig Needham. From the half wall, Needham turns, fires, stick save LaFontaine. Pushed back pretty deep into his crease. Needham recovers the puck, rolls it to the point. Doherty can't get his shot through. Pinballs to the circle. The Mavericks clear it out as Moberg skates after it for the Everblades. Cole Moberg, North Vancouver native, takes his time behind his own net. Doherty up the wing, left side. Carson Gusevich defended by Judding. Gusevich will one-hand it below the Mavericks goal line. He's met by McLaughlin. The two of them collide and behind the net. Both go tumbling. It'll be swung D-to-D, left point, long shot. It'll bounce off the back wall. Jackson Judding guides it to Jimmy Glynn. Glynn not able to clear it. Long shot kicked away LaFontaine. He's been a lot more busy here in this second period than he was in the first. As that puck goes off a couple of sticks, it'll roll up the glass. Hudson Elenick shielding the puck, sending it to the point. Long shot blocked. The Mavericks get it out. Here they come. Could have an odd man rush. Jackson Judding, left side, gives it over. One-timer, score! It's Jack Randall finishing off a brilliant pass from Jackson Judding, and the Mavericks take a 3-0 lead.
Right where they left off in the first period, Randall gets the goal, but this play is created by Jimmy Glynn at the defensive blue line. He blocks the shot. That puck is sitting in between the bodies. He wins the battle. He allows Judding to get the speed necessary to spring this odd man rush. And boy, Randall can rip it. Perfect pass over, perfect goal. Mavericks 3-0, game one.
What an unbelievable start. And every one of these goals, Sean, just, they're not really on Cam Johnson. There's certainly nothing he could do about that one unless he's completely cheating over to his left to stop the pass with a shot from Randall. That was just a perfect pass from Judding. Sort of right in Randall's wheelhouse. Jack Randall continues to have an exceptional postseason for the Mavericks. It was his 4th goal of the playoffs, his 15th point. Now leading all Mavericks in postseason scoring.
Florida had a great, couple shifts to start the second period. They started to get a little bit of pressure. They got a scoring chance or two. They got the Mavericks on their heels for 2 shifts. And sometimes you just need someone to make a play. And Jimmy Glynn blocking a shot at the blue line, creating that 2-on-1 opportunity for Judding and Randall. That's why he's playing on that line. That's why Tato had trust him back in the lineup from injury, playing him on that line. Fantastic stuff from number 21.
That's exactly right. Jimmy Glynn earning that role alongside Jack Randall and Jackson Judding. And he has made good on the opportunity so far. Patrick Kite with one hand on his stick, able to gallop out past his own blue line. The Mavericks secure possession on the back check. Hudson Wilson guides it out to center. Sambrook flings it off the glass, far side of the Maverick zone. Wilson off the boards to Sullivan. Ahead for Janicki. Sidesteps Sambrook into the slot, kicked out of there by Moberg. And he will just backhand it out into the Maverick zone, pursued by Crawford. Marcus Crawford, the league MVP this season, led the ECHL in scoring as a defenseman, becoming the first ever defenseman in ECHL history to win the league scoring title. Doherty, former Maverick, slams it out of there. Charlie Wright, D-to-D pass in his own zone. Crawford starts out to center, guides it ahead. Offside is the call against the Mavericks. A lot of these offside calls have just been so close, razor thin against the Mavericks. Saw it happen a few times in that first period.
From an objective hockey standpoint, you'd 10 times rather have the close, razor-thin offside calls at the blue line than the goals that 30 seconds later take a 5-minute review that you see in the NHL all the time, where you're looking at, did this person's skate blade cross in time over the puck? And You know, it's very unfortunate. The Mavericks fans are a little unhappy, but sometimes you got to trust the linesmen and their judgment, and it's better to do that than have to deal with the world of offsides reviews.
That is a fair point. What's worse, of course, it turned over. McCallum left circle shooting, blocked. Johnson able to kick away that shot from McCallum. Novak gave it over. Not connecting with McCallum. Crawford slapped it too hot to handle for Novak. He will collect it off the bounce. Back to the point. Long shot off the stick of Needham. Doherty clears it. It lands out at center. Here comes Needham bursting through. Lost his stick, lost the puck. Crawford lobs it out to the red line. Too far from McCallum. Bursola. Kite will dump it in for the Everblades. A puck battle ensues along the half wall. The Mavericks clear it down. This will be icing called against KC, and Logan Lambden looks to be in some either pain or perhaps his skate blade is missing. He's having a really hard time moving right now.
Yeah, the trainer's going out on the ice. It definitely looks like it could be an injury. We're probably going to take a second here to make sure that he's okay. He is in a lot of pain down on the ice right now, and that's not good. He never got back up to his 2 feet, and here he goes up now and doesn't have any pressure on his right foot right now. And this one does not look ideal for Logan Lambden.
You hate to see this.
As he just seemingly can't put any pressure on that right foot right now. And you don't want this. You want both teams in a championship at their best. And it's a tough break for Florida, something they'll potentially have to overcome. We'll keep our eyes out, see if he returns to this game.
Logan Lambden, a Michigan State product, 30 years of age, and former teammates with Bobo Carpenter. Won the Kelly Cup with Florida twice in 2023 and 2024. He's a big part of this Everblades roster. He's one of their veteran players. And Nicholas Bufinski, the head trainer of the Everblades, is going to take a look at him in the Florida locker room. And we wish for the best for Logan Lambden. We hope he's okay.
He didn't even make it to the locker room. He's sitting just past the Zamboni doors in a chair right now. That stinks for both him and the Everblades.
Bursola down the boards. It'll be guided behind the Mavericks net. Some pressure applied. Shot off the blocker of LaFontaine. It looked like might have grazed the outside of the post as well. Ewens continues to fight for it. The Mavericks can't clear it. Lansdell out to the point. Side of the net. The pass intended for Elenick. Intercepted and cleared. Randall is in pursuit. Bursola gets there first. Sends it out past Randall. Elenick. We've got a penalty upcoming. It'll be against Florida. There was a hit thrown by Lansdell right in front of the penalty boxes. And
Jimmy Glenn.
Yeah, Jimmy Glenn was on the receiving end of that hit. Luckily, he's able to get back onto his skates.
If there was a award for most times you get labeled and draw a penalty, Jimmy Glenn would be off and running with it. Right. He's been on the receiving end a couple of brutal plays like that. Luckily, he gets back to his own feet and skates to the bench on his own accord. Just gotta hope that he's okay. I'm sure he might get some attention from head trainer Nick Potter. But we'll see if this Mavericks power play can pick up where they left off against the Fort Wayne Comets. They were dominant in the Western Conference Final.
Right, in the conference final as well, Sean. Jimmy Glenn took a very similar penalty in a very similar place when the Mavericks were hosting the Comets in the early stages of that series. This Mavericks power play will go to work against the league's best PK in the postseason in the Florida Everblades. The 95% in the playoffs on the PK. Crawford, wrist shot, goes high, bounces off the backboards. Cotton to Randall, bumped off the puck. Here come the Everblades, short-handed. Jackson Judding tries to cut off the pass, gets some help from Crawford. The Mavericks back in control. Landon McCallum circles with it. Gets around to check. Landon McCallum in the slot, lost the puck. Lost his stick as well. Randall able to beat out Doherty. Reverses it to Cotton. David Cotton twisted along the half wall to Randall. Bumped back to Judding to Crawford, now to McCallum, left side. Crawford again. Wrist shot, swallowed by Johnson.
Nice movement here to start the Mavericks power play, and they're in a bit of a good position where you just want to see them have success, and that doesn't have to mean a goal. Up 3-0 in this game already. You'd love to make it 4-0 here, but I think it's more important that you just don't take any wind out of the sails that your team has built already in this game.
That's right. The Mavericks power play during the postseason, 24.1%. Clicking at just shy of 40% against Fort Wayne in the last round. The Mavericks steal the puck. McCallum fires, blocked by Moberg. Ricochets to Cotton. Guides it down low to Randall. Jutting. Jackson Jutting. Sends it towards Cotton. Cotton converges with Zamolik. Zamolik's got it now for Florida, as he shovels it off the glass and out. Anthony Romano racing after it. The Mavericks get there first. Jackson Jutting with 52 to go on the penalty, the boarding penalty against Lansdale, who leads the entire ECHL in penalty minutes during the postseason. The Everblades clear this one. Jack LaFontaine. Now Souter, Carpenter in front of the Florida bench. Navigates his way through neutral ice. Guides it off the far half boards. Novak. That puck goes off the protective mesh. Faceoff will stay in the Florida zone. 21 seconds to go on the penalty to Lansdale for the board.
It's just amazing to me. You get through the top unit for the Mavericks power play. You get through the league MVP. You get through some very dynamic playmakers. David Cotton, a guy who was at the time at one point leading the league in power play goals. And then all of a sudden you have to go against Bobo Carpenter, Justin Janicki, and Jakub Novak.
Yeah, just absolutely relentless. Souter from the blue line. Slides it to Novak. Back for Souter in front of the KC bench. Walks the line. Slides it to Ewens. Souter, high slot. Janicki into the slot. And the stick of Carpenter explodes. And we get a whistle. It looks like there's going to be a penalty for a slash. And look to me, Sean, I thought the stick exploded because of the contact with the puck, but perhaps it was slashed, and that's what caused it to break.
Yeah, we're going to take a closer look at it, I'm sure. Here it is. Here's the play. It's a nice scoring opportunity. Fantastic fake shot from Janicki, the one touch.
Yeah.
You know, a bit of both there, and good call by the back referee. He had the perfect angle on it, and potentially a goal-saving slash. With Carpenter winding up in the slot like that, but there'll be 7 seconds of 5-on-3 time. If the Mavericks win this face-off, they could likely get a very good scoring opportunity with it.
Jesse Lansdale already standing in the Florida penalty box. He will rejoin his team in 7 seconds. Bobo Carpenter will take the draw. Florida wins it. Sam Brook applying a lot of pressure on Novak. Continues roughing him up. Needham is able to clear it. Lansdale then takes a run at Ewens in front of the Mavericks bench, fresh out of the penalty box. And the Everblades have killed off their first penalty of this game, but the Mavericks still on the power play for the next 100 seconds. Long stretch pass. Cotton was lurking behind enemy lines, but he couldn't control the puck. Deflects off his stick. Doherty able to clear it. Puck goes down the length. LaFontaine will allow Zach Ewens to scoop it up. 12.5 to go in the second period. The Mavericks leading 3-0 here in game one. Jackson Jutting slides it along the line for McCallum. Backhand pass interrupted and cleared. Zamolik gets it out as far as the blue line. Now Jutting. Jutting defended by Chow. The Everblades clear it. A foot race is on. Jet Jones is after it. Crawford able to beat him comfortably. Reverses it to Randall. Randall accelerates into Florida territory. Guides it to Jutting. Up high to Crawford. Wrist shot blocked. Hit Sam Stang on the way through. Cotton's pass never reaches McCallum. As Betts will guide it up to Stang. The puck will bounce near the Florida bench. Recovered by the Everblades. 39 seconds to go on their penalty kill. As Doherty launches it down the ice. Novak to Crawford. Finds McCallum in front of the Mavericks bench. And McCallum down to the corner for Janicki. Janicki's pass intended for Souter. Wasn't quite able to receive that puck. Ewens circles back to get it. Sends it up the middle. Janicki enters the zone to his right. Carpenter in front. Novak tipped it on goal. What a save by Johnson with the right pad.
Man, Johnson's best save of the game here. This power play turns into a 3-on-2 entry, and now we're getting some pushes and shoves in exchange. A couple headlocks back and forth. I think it was Janicki, Souter, and Novak that were in on this 3-on-2 play. Or it might have been Carpenter, and there's a phenomenal pass across to Novak. And Johnson has to make a really strong left to right push. So Carpenter's looking past the whole way, but fantastic shot there from Novak and better save from Johnson.
And Carpenter put that almost right where he wanted to. Maybe wanted to get it out a little bit further. I'm not sure if Novak actually kicked that puck a little bit, Sean, or if he kicked it up to his stick. But regardless, very strong goaltending from Cam Johnson. He gives up a goal there. Florida's in serious trouble. As it is, they've got themselves quite a hill to climb. They trail by 3. We're nearing the midway point of regulation. 11:05 to go in the second. 5 seconds remain on the penalty to Betts for the slash. Low height in the slot, turns and fires. Blocked by Jones. That puck deflects out of play, and Kyle Betts has been let out of the sin bin. Florida improves to 2 for 2 on the PK. In these playoffs, they are now 41 for 43, north of 95%. We're going to take a break, Mavs country. Keep it right here. You're watching and listening to KC Mavericks Playoff Hockey.
It's Coyote season now at Teague Tractor in Belton. If you need a machine that lifts, loads, pulls, and digs wherever you need it, there's a Coyote right for you. See the full pack of Coyote tractors and skid steers at Teague Tractor. Durable, versatile, yet comfortable and convenient. Teague will put you in the Coyote with all the demands and features you require. Teague is a complete Coyote dealer with parts and full service. Pick your tough Coyote today at family-owned Teague Tractor, right off I-49 Belton.
Get ready for a wild adventure at the Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium. Experience the thrill of the animal kingdom like never before. Dive into Sobella Ocean Aquarium and discover the wonders of the deep blue sea. From fun rides to tasty treats, there's excitement around every corner. Create unforgettable memories with your favorite animals and favorite people. Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium, where every visit is a new adventure. Plan your visit today.
All right, welcome back, folks, and thank you for joining us on the Mavericks Broadcast Network. We've got some very special guests in attendance here tonight at Cable Dahmer Arena. You're taking a look now at several members of the Kansas City Chiefs rookie class in the house to enjoy some Friday night hockey. Great to see the support from the Kansas City Chiefs here at Cable Dahmer Arena, joining the Orange Army.
Talk about organizations that know a lot about winning, a lot about championships. Chiefs looking to get back to that. Mavericks certainly looking to add to the championship pedigree established by the Chiefs, established by the Royals as well.
That's right. McLaughlin guides the puck behind the net. It hops away from Berezowski. Kite hit by low height. And Jet Jones will sky the puck in behind the Mavericks net. McLaughlin moves it. Berezowski up to low height. And sends a rink-wide pass out to McLaughlin. He is then checked by Jet Jones right in front of the Florida bench. Jones still going at it with McLaughlin. The linesman trying to intervene. A lot going on behind the play. Here come the Everblades meanwhile. Kite delays back to the trailer. Drive over top of the goal. Second shot stopped by LaFontaine. Puck stays loose. One-timer kicked away by LaFontaine on the shot from the circle. And now it is Oliver Cooper sending it down low. David Cotton lobs that puck into the Everblades zone. Back to get it is Oliver Chow, the Florida captain. Former teammates with Jake McLaughlin for 3 years at UMass. And Berzola dumps it in. LaFontaine thought there was going to be an icing. Not the case. Chow to the line. Zamolik off the corner boards. It bounces. Novak Had it go between his skates. Icing is the call against the Mavericks. We are now more than halfway through regulation time. 9:42 to play in the second period. The Mavericks leading the Everblades 3-0 with goals from Novak, Wilson, and Randall in this game.
I think it's really important with the 3 goals the Mavericks have scored as there's a lot of guys getting it done right now. Obviously, Novak, his line is performing well. Jack Randall, that was a great play by the forward line. Wilson, kind of the outlier of the 3 goal scorers, but phenomenal play nonetheless. And this Mavericks team, they have 18 skaters that are prepared to make a difference on any given night.
And one of your keys to the game, Sean, was get everyone involved. And right now, we've got 8 different players that have gotten a point.
Right, and going back to the first period, I guess we'll talk about this coming out of our next media timeout. Second media timeout of the second period. We'll be back right after this.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need today. With over 60 providers and 7 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
All right. Breathe out for me. Big breath in. Just relax. Big breath in for me. 1, 2, 3.
Is your technology out of alignment? Let GFI Digital give it the adjustment it needs, realigning your business with smarter, more efficient solutions. Whether it's the latest in copiers and printers, managed IT, or advanced technology services, GFI Digital has you covered from head to toe. Because at GFI Digital, we make technology.
Fairway is a proud sponsor of the KC Mavericks and offers the best meats in town, hands down. Head to a market near you to check out the wide selection of steaks, chicken, burgers, brats, barbecue, deli, and much more. Whether it's for the grill or the smoker, Fairway has you covered at every corner. Stop by any of their locations, conveniently located in South KC, Northland KC, and Overland Park, or visit fairwaymeatmarket.com. The Mavericks leading the Everblades 3-0 as we are now more than midway through this hockey game. 9:38 to go in the second period. KC off to a fantastic start here in the Kelly Cup Finals, trying to exercise their 2024 demons. The Everblades win the draw. Long point shot, blocked, loose in the blue paint, and knocked to the corner. The Mavericks are able to clear it as far as the Florida blue line. Cole Moberg up the right side. This is going to be an icing. It's waved off. So it'll be collected far corner and sent back towards the point, outside of the reach of Moberg, who's going to have to go get it. Cole Moberg in his 4th season as an Everblade. Moves it up to Needham. He tries to split the defense, dishes it off to his right, Sam Stang. Backhands it in behind the Mavericks net. Puck is sliding its way towards the point. Fresh off the bench, Sambrook guides it down to the corner on the adjacent side. It'll be loose, far circle now. Janicki clearing it over the glove hand of a jumping Needham. Kite not able to connect with Kasevich. Good stick lift in the neutral zone. I think it was Jake McLaughlin. Perhaps Glynn who did that. Good to see Glynn still out there after taking that board. As Lansdell, the guy who hit him, able to tightrope the blue line. Looked like that crossed it. And they say no. Play continues. Jones slides it to Ewens. Up to Randall, off his stick. Ricochets into the Florida zone. Zamolik. Reese Zamolik guides it out to the far side. Berzola sends it up the middle. Betts to the outside. Elenick tries to reverse it to Betts. He's in a little bit too tight. Couldn't get a clean shot off there. Wilson plays it ahead. Here comes Lohheit with a burst of speed and a shot. Scores! Luke Lohheit rips it past Johnson's blocker. Lohait's got his 5th goal of the playoffs, and the Mavericks take a 4-0 lead.
Who's ready to make the next play? Hudson Wilson gets through the neutral zone. He just gives a little bit of a soft chip to Luke Lohheit. And what a rifle of a shot once again from the face-off circle, the top side of it. picks his corner on the far side of the net. And the Mavericks have now scored 4 goals, the most of anyone against the Florida Everblades this postseason.
Just unbelievable what this Mavericks team has been able to accomplish here tonight. 32 minutes and 10 seconds into this game, they lead 4-0 against a team that just does not give up 4 goals in a game, hardly ever. This Everblades team was the only team in the league this season to allow fewer than 2 goals per game on average. The Mavericks have now doubled that with still tons of time. Charlie Wright plays the puck. We get a whistle here. Looks like this faceoff will come back out to center near the Everblades bench. Luke Lohheit with an absolute snipe. Hudson Wilson picking up his 2nd point of the game on the assist. The primary helper on Loheit's goal. Luke Lohheit had a hat trick against the Allen Americans back in Game 3. That is now his 5th goal of the postseason. And that was, again, Sean, every one of these goals the Mavericks are scoring just executed to perfection. Cam Johnson maybe slightly off his angle, but regardless, a perfect shot from Lohheit. This is going to be an icing call against the Mavericks.
Cam Johnson coming into this game, played every postseason game for the Everblades, 1.35 goals against average, a .945 save percentage. His save percentage isn't even at .750 in this game so far. I mean, he came into this as Florida's best player, no doubt.
Right.
And the Mavericks have, you know, it's one thing to, you know, be batting pucks out of midair. It's another thing to just be absolutely rifling these shots home. Cam Johnson has looked very pedestrian here tonight so far, and I don't think any of us saw that coming.
Here's a shot from the goal line, hit a body. It'll bounce right out to McCallum. Joined by Cotton on a 2-on-2. Now here's Cole Moberg for Florida. Up the adjacent wing, dumped into the Maverick zone by Reed Duke. Crawford overskates it. Chow tried to send it to Betts. There's going to be a penalty interference called against the Mavericks. Kyle Betts was on the receiving end of that contact, and looks like it'll be Lucas Sauter having a seat for KC.
And he's not too happy about it. So we get the call on the ice.
Orange Army's not too happy about it either. Sauter colliding with Kyle Betts in the left circle. And he will have a seat for the next couple of minutes. Lucas Sauter, the only Florida native on either of these rosters. He's from about 2.5 hours away from Estero, where the Everblades play, and there you see the contact on Betts.
Yeah, it seems like Betts kind of hit himself where Lucas Sauter was standing for a solid second. But it's the thinnest of margins.
So Florida going back to work on their power play for the 2nd time in this game. Mavericks cleared out as far as the red line, swatted down by Jordan Sambrook. Sambrook led the entire league in plus-minus this season. He was the only player to have the edge on Marcus Crawford in that department. Sambrook plus 11 in these playoffs as well. Elenick dumps it in. And LaFontaine will hang on to that. Sambrook a plus 62 during the regular season. Crawford was the closest out of any player in the league to him in plus minus. Crawford a plus 49. Faceoff's going to be in the right circle of the Maverick zone. And Sam Stang, the former Allen American, will take this draw. Stang had 4 points against the Mavericks in 3 games while he was a part of the Americans during the regular season. It'll be fed to him in the circle. He's forced to the outside. Stang sends it around the boards to the point. Sambrook is forced to retreat, with Randall pressuring him. Jordan Sambrook drops it back. Be fluttered across the line by Chow. The Mavericks force a turnover at the blue line, recovered by Sambrook out at center. And now Stang. Ahead for Romano, he will dump it in. Jones for Wilson. Wilson's got Everblades on all sides of him. It'll be moved to Elenick. Now to the deep slot, Sambrook to the outside. This is Romano shooting, hit a stick. Flutters up in the air. LaFontaine had to be careful. He makes a couple of saves from point-blank range. Still it's loose. They continue to battle for it. Still it's loose. And finally, it looks like we get a whistle. And absolute chaos now in front of the Mavericks net. I'm not so sure I ever even heard a whistle. And the players just sort of took it upon themselves to create a de facto whistle here.
Can't hear anything right now. The Orange Army, they want to see a fight. They got pretty close here, but this just turns into everybody grab a guy type scenario. This shot from the point gets blocked, and it's fluttering. No one really knows where it is except for Jack LaFontaine. He can tell it's going to bounce a couple feet ahead of the blue paint. He's able to cover it, but then, everybody starts taking shots at each other. All of a sudden, Brian Jones ends up in the net with one of the linesmen. I don't think I've ever seen a linesman have to break up a fight inside the net.
That was Elenick is going to have a seat, Sean, with Jackson Berezowski. The two of them getting offsetting roughing minors, but
you could have given it to any of the
right,
any of the pairs of people that were involved there, but
it looked to me like Elenick just went after Berezowski and just sort of tackled him. All Berezowski did was sort of brace for the contact. And Elenick, a much larger player than Berezowski, got about 7 inches on him and just landed on top of him. And we're getting an announcement from John Dale, our public address announcer, reminding the folks here at Cable Dahmer to not throw objects onto the ice during play. I thought I saw a puck thrown onto the ice, Sean, but thought maybe that it was Jack LaFontaine just sort of doing a little bit of showboating, tossing the puck back out there, but I should have known better. He's not much for showboating. And so there was a fan who threw a puck on the ice, which you don't want to see.
Chuck a puck will be during the second intermission, not before.
5:08 remains in the second period. The Mavericks still on the PK for the next 23 seconds. Been perfect so far tonight. And Reed Duke will step in to take the draw. A 6th-round draft pick of the Minnesota Wild. He'll be countered by Nolan Sullivan. Puck drops. Everblades win possession. Bursola to Kite. Walks the blue line. Guides it down to the corner. Gisevich up high. Kite. Gisevich again. Tees it up. Slap pass to the side of the net. Centering pass. That was intended for Duke. It was broken up but kept in the zone by Kite. He sends it down and behind the net. Nice play by McLaughlin defensively. Chips it up the wall on the far side. Low height. Not able to move it. Will be given up high. A wrist shot by Burzola. Bounces off a skate. The Mavericks clear it. Unfortunately, Luke Lowhite doesn't have a stick, so he couldn't make a play on that puck. But the Mavericks have improved to 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. The puck is flung down the ice. They say icing against KC. Tough break for the Mavericks. They've still got their penalty kill specialists out there.
Lowhite was able to make a change before the icing. So Nolan Sullivan, Lucas Sauter, and Justin Janicki out on the ice together. We've seen a lot of line combinations. Mavericks have been playing a ton of hockey, close to 90 games total this season. I don't think we've ever seen those 3 guys play together.
I don't think so either. This is such a deep and talented roster that I wouldn't put past any of them to be perfectly fine playing with just about anybody in this lineup. And so Florida comes away with the puck on the draw. Needham Working it along the end wall. The net comes off its pegs. And more chaos after the net is dislodged to give the Mavericks an opportunity to get a change. That's the silver lining in this situation.
And Jack LaFontaine is out of that scrum, and that's what's most important. Some frustration really starting to build here for the Florida Everblades.
Yeah, they are not accustomed to being in these situations at all. They've not trailed by this degree in the playoffs.
You see Ewens battling in front, just a hefty amount of cross checks back and forth between him and Lansdale.
Looks like Lansdale's going to be penalized for it. I mean, you're allowed. Here's a call. Roughing is the call against Lansdale, his second trip to the box. You know, you're allowed a lot of deference, Sean, in the playoffs, especially in the finals. But that was just a little too far from Lansdale, so he's going to have a seat. The Mavericks to the power play when we come back.
He's the one.
When you have a financial partner that invests in every part of you, you can't help but feel like a star. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Culver's, proud sponsor and the official frozen custard of the Kansas City Mavericks. Whether it's a famous Butterburger, their signature cheese curds, or a scoop of fresh frozen custard, you will always leave happy. Stop by any of their 15 locations in the KC Metro or visit culvers.com. Culver's, welcome to delicious. The Mavericks leading the Everblades 4-0 with a chance to pile on a fifth as they are going back to the power play for the third time tonight. Can the third time be the charm? They're going up against the best postseason penalty kill. This Everblades PK has clicked around 96% in these playoffs. For some context, though, and this is important, the Mavericks penalty kill, while not as strong as Florida's during the playoffs, Mavericks 83%. However, the three teams that they faced, Sean, in rounds 1, 2, and 3 were among the top 6 in the league in power play percentage. First they played Tahoe, then they played Allen, and then they played Fort Wayne. All of those teams had top 6 power play units in the league. So to still come out of that with an 83% PK rate is very impressive.
That is very impressive. And Mavericks penalty kill, they just do their jobs. They got so many guys who are just tenacious defensively. So many guys who want the opportunity to go out there and block a shot, right? And Luke Lohheit, haven't seen him in the past couple games. He gets back into the lineup here tonight as well. And him, Nolan Sullivan, whether it's Judding, Randall, so many guys are just willing to sacrifice the body to make the play. They're so tenacious, and it's really worked out for them in a large way.
Right. So the Mavericks will head back to work on the man advantage. Jackson Judding to take the draw against Needham. He wins it cleanly. McCallum to the line. Crawford to Judding. Now McCallum, left side. Up to the blue line. Crawford, wrist shot, save, rebound! Put over top of the goal by Cotton. He had Johnson down and out, but he couldn't tuck it inside the crossbar.
Yeah, Cotton's head hit the rafters after he let that one go. He just is able to get the rebound from Crawford here off of Johnson's body. He goes right to his forehand. Johnson makes a great play. He forces Cotton into the position where Cotton knows he has to elevate that puck. And it just never quite settled enough for Cotton. Inches from 5-0 here in game 1.
And I give credit to Cotton for trying to elevate that. He knew he had to, like you said, Sean, just got under it a little bit too much. Cotton second in the league in power play goals during the regular season with 13. Here's Crawford at the blue line. Slides it towards the corner. Randall up to Judding. McCallum, one-timer, scores! Landon McCallum snipes a pass
play quarterback. Randall gets this pass. And what does Florida do? They're covering Crawford so close that it opens up this seam for Randall to get this puck. Or excuse me, it's Judding. For Judding to get this puck all the way over to McCallum. And everyone is just ripping the puck like they've never ripped it before. Another goal where you feel like Cam Johnson didn't stand a chance. Putting on a shooting clinic here in game one.
This is unprecedented territory. The Everblades hadn't trailed by 4 in a game since November 5th of the regular season. They now trail by 5, now 6! Jimmy Glynn adds another one! And this is an absolute rout here in game one.
Who's getting one next? Who's getting goal number 7? Because this ain't stopping. This team is rolling. Phenomenal play down low. Nolan Sullivan shakes and bakes below the goal line. Cuts to the front of the net. And Jimmy Glynn is able to fire this one into a wide open net.
Loheit was given a roughing minor after the goal.
He did it too. He ran into Lansdell after the goal, going to celebrate with Jimmy Glynn, but 6-0.
Unbelievable. And Sean, I'm sure a lot of folks who are in this building tonight were here a little over 2 years ago, and the Mavericks played the Everblades in game 1. They lost that game 8-1. This is essentially the inverse of game 1 2 years ago. Florida going to work on the power play for the 3rd time tonight. Kite down the boards. Betts not able to control that puck. The Mavericks clear it down. Johnson. Not accustomed to being in this situation at all. The Florida team is just incredibly stingy during the regular season. The Mavericks have just lit them up all night. Sullivan drops it behind the Everblades net. Needham. Patrick Kite. Oliver Chow slides it to his right. And offside is the call against Romano and the Everblades with 2:22 to go in the second period. Like Sean just mentioned, the Mavericks putting on a clinic here in game 1.
Cam Johnson, I'm sure, could have made an extra save or two that would have helped out, but I mean, this is just sheer domination. There's nothing he can do on a lot of these opportunities. Jimmy Glynn fired this into an open net because Nolan Sullivan snaked his way through 3 defensive players. Before that, on the power play, just a breakdown by the PK that is operated at 96%
right
in the playoffs. They just leave Landon McCallum completely uncovered. I mean, we've talked all season about how McCallum's a pass-first player, but it's not that he can't shoot.
Right. So here's Sambrook with an opening. His shot blocked by Jake McLaughlin. Elenick. Let's keep it the line. Elenick into the slot. Here's a shot by Stang. That missed. It'll be swatted back towards the point. Elenick has it. Into the bumper for Stang. Back for Elenick. Stang couldn't get a clean shot there. He punched to the outside. Giving up high now to Sambrook. Out to Romano. Slides it down to the corner. Here's Stang with a shot. Missed high. 12 seconds to go on this power play for Florida. Sambrook inadvertently carried it over the blue line, so offside is the call against the Everblades. Florida's power play coming into this game just 13.5%. This is one of the very few areas in which they have struggled. They were fairly average during the regular season as well. Power play percentage of 17.4%. Good for 19th in the ECHL, so slightly below average during the regular season. It's the defensive metrics by which Florida have really dominated the bulk of their games throughout the campaign. And tonight they have struggled on both the offensive and defensive sides of the puck. The Mavericks improved to 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Down the right side, Florida skates it. Reed Duke sends it on net. LaFontaine with no trouble there, making a glove snag. 1 minute and 11 seconds remain in the second period. The Mavericks putting on a show here in front of the Orange Army and KC.
We talked about how the Everblades have struggled on their power play, but in tonight's game, they have, out of the 3 power plays, 1 shot on goal.
Right.
So big credit to the Mavericks on defense of how they're just shutting that down with 3 opportunities, and they're just not giving them anything, and they're blocking everything before it even has a chance to get to LaFontaine.
We saw a lot of that in Game 6 against the Fort Wayne Comets. Complete team buy-in defensively. A shot right off the draw, blocked. The puck goes out of play. Shot taken by Reed Duke. Former teammates with McLaughlin with the Henderson Silver Knights in the 2020-2021 season. Calgary native. The Mavericks responded in such an enormous way following that tough loss in Game 5 on the road in Fort Wayne. It was not the team's best performance in Game 5, and they responded with a stellar defensive showing against the Comets in Game 6. Got to give Fort Wayne a lot of credit for their ability to rally late in the third period. Just sheer willpower and desperation to not go down quietly, able to force overtime. But the Mavericks have just been so stingy defensively in their own zone ever since returning home after that Game 5 loss in Fort Wayne. The attention to detail has been off the charts. And we're seeing it with Florida, who pretty high-powered attack in their own right. Stronger on the defensive side generally than they have been on the offensive side of the puck during the season. But regardless, 7th best in the league in goals for per game. This is not a team that struggled to score during the season. And tonight, they've just not gotten hardly anything going offensively. They've had 10 shots. This game is now just about 2/3 of the way through. The Mavericks lob the puck down. Marcus Crawford getting it as far as the Florida blue line. Patrick Kite sends it up to Bursola. Lost it. Kite recovers it. Takes a weird bounce. Needham off the left wall. Oliver Cooper. He's met by a couple of Mavericks upon entering the KC zone. McCallum twirls it in below the Florida goal line. Sambrook checked by Cotton. Cotton wins possession and centers it. It rolls up the slot. Wilson dusts it off. Slides it off the corner board. Sambrook is there for Florida. Off the glass and out. Jones wobbles it across. 12 seconds to go. Wilson chops it out of there. It'll be chipped further there by Carpenter. Bursola up to Lansdell. He guides it in Needham's direction. That'll do it. 40 minutes now in the books. The Mavericks have extended their lead from 2 to 6 in that second period. Jack Randall, Luke Lohheit, Landon McCallum, and Jimmy Glynn all finding twine in that middle 20 minutes. The Mavericks with 6 different goal scorers here tonight. They have been absolutely electric in Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals. We're going to send it down to Sean Carrier shortly. He's going to be catching up with Hudson Wilson, one of the goal scorers tonight for the Mavericks. Wilson had the second goal of the game for KC back in the closing minutes of the first period, with a beautiful snipe from the right circle to beat Cam Johnson over the shoulder. We're going to send it down to Sean right now.
Hudson, you've been holding out that shot on us all year. How do you feel to see that one go down? No, it felt great. Team effort, obviously. I'm just shooting the puck, hope it goes in, and that one did. And we got so many of those, that's good. We have 18 difference makers right now. That reflects on the scoreboard, 6-0 here. How much fun is it when your entire team is getting involved on the score? Well, it's a lot of fun. I mean, we couldn't ask for better first 2 periods of the series, but it's a long series, and there's a reason it's really hard to win these trophies. Best of 7, so we
Thank you very much, Sean. That was Sean Carrier with Hudson Wilson, who's got his first goal of the playoffs here tonight. We're going to step aside, Mavs country. Keep it right here. 6-0 Mavericks is your score. We'll be right back after this.
Fun, high-end, the upper echelon. That is our guiding principle. The extraordinary. At every level, at every turn, and in every interaction. Why? Simple. To offer the absolute finest luxury car experience in Kansas City. That is what it means to be an aristocrat. Aristocrat Motors, where we treat every driver like royalty.
Our railroad moves North America.
Expanding our legacy of excellence with each mile.
As leaders in innovation and service,
we are united by hard work and pride.
We safely deliver every day.
Connecting people.
Connecting communities.
Connecting nations.
We are CPKC. Together, we go places no one else can go.
How do I get rid of it? Just drink a ton of water.
My mama said tea with local honey works wonders on a sore throat.
Got the ginger soup.
The best remedy? Essential oils.
Dude, don't worry about it. Always works.
Health question? Get expert advice. Consult a nurse. It's free.
In the middle stanza alone, they had 4 goals. All of their goals tonight, by the way, have come from a different player. And in the second period, it was Jack Randall, Luke Lohheit, Landon McCallum, and Jimmy Glynn who got on the board for the Mavericks. Let's start with Jack Randall. That was just a brilliant play by Jimmy Glynn. You mentioned at the blue line to steal the puck in the offensive zone, or rather in his own zone. It felt like Florida was really trying to get off to a great start in that second period. And to be fair, they kind of did. They had they forced Jack LaFontaine to make a few saves in the first couple of minutes. It seemed like they were trying to respond to being down by 2 and, get a strong start to the second. Jimmy Glynn steals the puck at the blue line, springs Jutting on a 2-on-1. Jack Randall finishes off the pass. Just a brilliant play between the 3 of those guys.
So Jimmy Glynn had to make 3 great plays to allow the 2-on-1 to get set up. First, he had to block the shot. Did that well enough. He's been doing it all year long. This Mavericks group, we know how they love to, praise the, the selfless plays, and that's the perfect example of one of them is, blocking a shot at the point. The second is the puck is sitting in the feet of both players after the block. He has to tie up that defenseman, and he has to beat that defenseman to the puck as it's just sitting there. That's a really hard thing to do. The defenseman, he had a better view of where that puck was. He knew where it was, but both those guys are battling. He wins the battle, and then he has to make a play on the puck. And what does he do? He doesn't use his stick because it's still used to tie up the body of the defenseman. He kicks it. He kicks it into the neutral zone, and by the time all of that had happened, Jackson Jutting is flying up the ice. He's able, both Glynn and the defenseman turn around. They realize Jutting's way ahead of them and going to by far beat them in that puck race. And obviously then it's a perfect pass from Jutting over to Randall, and then a perfect shot from Randall on the one-timer. So, 3 perfect plays by Glynn, fantastic pass from Jutting, fantastic shot from Jack Randall. Just a perfect play between those 3 guys. Landon McCallum, he got taken off of that line, and I thought it was a really interesting decision by Tato Hatt. I was like, Landon McCallum's such a dynamic player. How's he going to do away from those two guys? Is he going to be, are they using it to try to spark something else? And Jimmy Glenn, who's kind of bounced around the lineup, he, at times, got way up in the lineup, and then seemingly he would get injured, and he just never seemingly really caught a great groove where he could just really just build off of a solid month or two of great play, and just injuries were just the cause of that. And gets back into the mix here in the postseason, gets the opportunity to play on the top line with two dynamic players, and makes 3 great plays to set up a goal. Couldn't be happier for Jimmy Glenn. They're just you got to applaud all of those plays, and and Landon McCallum as well, the guy who got taken off of that line. It's not like he's having a bad game either. He seems to be all over the ice in the best way possible. And Tato had those changes that he made for Game 6 of the conference final. They seem to be working here tonight.
Yes, they do. And you nailed it. Landon McCallum with a goal and an assist to his credit tonight. Let's talk about that goal that he scored. Well, first we'll get to Loheit's goal. He sniped his 5th goal of the playoffs, 12-10 into that second period. Almost exactly 10 minutes after Randall's goal, Loheit added the Mavericks 4th with a snipe from the right circle, beating Cam Johnson blocker side. Cam Johnson, upon looking at that replay, Sean, looked like he was maybe slightly off his angle, a little bit to the left, but regardless, that was a perfectly placed shot by Loheit just inside that left post. And so, rather than just listen to us talk about them, let's take a look at these goals, because there were lots of them during that second period. We've got our highlights here. Take a look at these second period highlights. This was the first one. You mentioned the strong play by Jimmy Glenn, and ultimately the perfect pass from Jackson Jutting over to Randall.
It's just pretty. I could watch this 100 times. Just fantastic stuff from number 21, number 9, and number 82. Look at that pass. It was barely on the ice before Randall was able to rip it. Perfect pass across, and Johnson didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, that is a textbook saucer pass over the defenseman's stick by Jackson Jutting, and Jack Randall's going to bury that one just about every time. And here's Loheit's goal. Look at that snipe over to Cam Johnson's blocker. Couldn't have placed that better if he tried.
And just sometimes you just got to shoot the puck. The defenseman isn't closing as hard on the shooting opportunity as he should. His feet stop moving. And like you mentioned, Johnson maybe just a tad bit off his angle there, but Luke Loheit, phenomenal shot.
Absolutely. And here's McCallum's goal, another snipe where, it looked like that went off the crossbar and in, Sean. I mean, every one of these shots just executed to perfection.
Yeah. Shooting clinic, that's what it is here tonight. I mean, phenomenal one-timer. McCallum, normally more of a quarterback role. And what does he do? He just winds up, lets that one go, and is able to bury it.
That's right. And then this was the 4th goal of the second period, the 6th overall. That one from Jimmy Glenn. Love to see him getting rewarded for going to the net.
Look at Nolan Sullivan. All the defensemen get caught puck watching on that play. Nolan Sullivan just goes right through him, and I don't think he means to put this puck to this area, but he's able to put it towards the front of the net. Jimmy Glenn's able to capitalize. Glenn having a phenomenal start to this Kelly Cup final.
Yes, he is. We're going to take a break, Mavs Country. When we come back, we've got some more interviews to play back for you. Keep it right here. You're watching and listening to KC Mavericks Playoff Hockey.
Our railroad moves North America,
expanding our legacy of excellence with each mile.
As leaders in innovation and service,
we are united by hard work and pride.
We safely deliver every day.
Connecting people.
Connecting communities.
Connecting nations.
We are CPKC. Together, we go places no one else can go.
How do I get rid of it? Just drink a ton of water.
My mama said tea with local honey works wonders on a sore throat.
Got the ginger soup.
The best remedy? Essential oils.
Dude, don't worry about it. Always works.
Health question? Get expert advice. Consult a nurse. It's free.
Get ready for a wild adventure at the Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium. Experience the thrill of the animal kingdom like never before. Dive into Sobella Ocean Aquarium and discover the wonders of the deep blue sea. From fun rides to tasty treats, there's excitement around every corner. Create unforgettable memories with your favorite animals and favorite people. Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium, where every visit is a new adventure. Plan your visit today.
Jackson, just some of that off-ice experiences with your teammates that you mentioned, what about that has correlated to you guys being such a close-knit group on the ice as well?
Yeah, I think just spending extra time together on the road, just whether you're eating breakfast or going out to dinners or just spending time together on these week-long road trips, I think it just brings us closer together, and that builds trust and confidence, and that directly translates on the ice. And when we're down a goal in the third period or any type of situation we're in, we're comfortable with whoever's on the ice, and we're confident with whoever's in those situations.
With this being your rookie season, going back once again to training camp, did you have any kind of welcome to the Mavericks moments with any of the veterans that you can remember off the top of your head?
Well, I think just the standard is winning here. Like, the team's been so good in years past, and that's something that I've said before. Like, coming in here, like, I know going into a winning organization and come up short the last couple of years, but they've had that pedigree of having great seasons. So being a part of it this year has been unbelievable, and I think just that standard of winning and standard of playing to the best of our ability and letting the results speak for themselves has been a big thing for us.
And lastly, your coach, Tato, had won Coach of the Year this year in the ECHL. You know, for your first professional year playing hockey, what does it mean to kind of been playing under him with the standard he sets for this group?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a leader of men, and he loves. He can read the room really well, understands what we need when we need it, and just really puts us in a good position to succeed. And that's our whole coaching staff too, and the ownership group and everyone that works for the Mavericks just puts us in a really good position to win and makes us come to the rink every day with a smile on our face and ready to go.
All right, welcome back, folks, and thanks so much for joining us here for Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals. The Mavericks off and running with that's not doing it justice, I don't think. 6-0 the score in favor of KC. Fitting that they put a touchdown on the board with a lot of the Kansas City Chiefs rookie class here in the house to soak in some playoff hockey. The Mavericks up 6-0 with goals from 6 different goal scorers. They had 2 in the first, 4 in the second. Novak, Wilson, Randall, Lowhite, McCallum, and Glenn all finding twine here in Game 1 against the Florida Everblades. And Sean, you know, I guess the parallels between this matchup and the matchup from 2 years ago in the Kelly Cup Finals, they were inevitable. You had to know that there were going to be comparisons drawn between the rosters of both of those teams then versus now, along with just the matchup in general. One parallel I find sort of eerie is that in Game 1 during the 2024 Kelly Cup Finals, the Everblades blew out the Mavericks. They beat them 8-1. You were here. You were able to see what happened in that game. It was a tough game for the Mavericks. The Mavericks did bounce back the next day, but it is interesting. You know, 2 years later, they have made it a point to not only to not allow that to happen again, but to completely flip the script in the opposite direction here in Game 1.
You know, there's 4 skaters on the ice right now for the Mavericks who were in that Game 1, and I think you can tell that they remember. This team is playing like there's a lot of new faces, but this team is playing like all 18 skaters were part of that Kelly Cup team 2 seasons ago, and they want some retribution. And it's certainly funny how this parallel has worked out. You know, the Mavericks in a great spot here. They're 20 minutes away from taking Game 1, and I think they just keep their foot on the gas. They really want to make a statement. They can't win anything more than Game 1 here tonight, but they want to start winning that mental battle. They really want to make Fort Wayne regret coming here tomorrow. They want them feeling the pain, you know, when they get on the bus to head to the rink tomorrow morning.
That's right. And those players that Sean mentioned who were a part of the Mavericks roster during that finals meeting 2 years ago, Casey Carew, David Cotton, Ryan Jones, Jack LaFontaine, and Nolan Sullivan were all a part of that Mavericks squad that were defeated by the Everblades in the Kelly Cup Finals 2 years ago. The Mavericks trying to set forth a new chapter in the history books. They are off to a fantastic start here in Game number 1. They lead 6-0 with 40 minutes in the books. And the scary part is their best period is yet to come. They were the strongest third period team in the league during the regular season. I don't imagine they'll have too much trouble closing this one out, but they still have to go out there and do what they do in the third period. We'll see what the Mavericks can put forth in the closing 20 minutes. We're going to take one last break, Mavs country. Third period action is next. Keep it right here.
Fine. the upper echelon. That is our guiding principle, the extraordinary. At every level, at every turn, and in every interaction. Why? Simple. To offer the absolute finest luxury car experience in Kansas City. That is what it means to be an aristocrat. Aristocrat Motors, where we treat every driver like royalty.
When you have a financial partner that invests in every part of you, you can't help but feel like a star. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union.
All right, welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for Game 1 of the Kelly Cup Finals. Alex Von Coydel, Sean Carrier, and Chad Neal with you tonight on the Mavericks Broadcast Network and on Prime Video. The Mavericks putting on a goal-scoring clinic here in Game 1. 6-0 the score in favor of KC. They have scored on 1/3 of their shots that they have taken. Cam Johnson having an uncharacteristically brutal night in net. He has been left in goal by Brad Ralph and the Everblades coaching staff. And just given his pedigree, Sean, and his postseason resume at this level, I would imagine it would take quite a bit for Cam Johnson to be pulled. And they are not going to do that here, at least not at the moment. So third period action now underway in Game 1. Mavericks with a very comfortable cushion here as the third period is now underway. And shot deflects off a stick. It'll bounce off the boards. And it'll be sent back towards the net from the point by Moberg. It hit Wilson. He will guide it up to Sauter. Sauter finds Janicki on the right flank. Janicki attempts to twirl away from a lot of pressure. He's got two Everblades right in his face and is forced to retreat. Then takes a couple of punches from Patrick Kite. Novak sends it into the attacking zone. Will be given D-to-D from Sambrook to Kite. Marcus Crawford in pursuit of it in his own zone. Sam Stang sends it off the back of the net. Took a funny bounce. Zach Ewens did well to just swat it out of midair. Could have been trouble otherwise. Moberg around the boards to the near side. Long point shot blocked by Cotton. Ewens deflects it over the Florida line. It's Chow. Will send it off the back wall. LaFontaine out to Randall. He is sized up by Stang. Mavericks just lob that one down. It's going wide of the net, so it'll be an icing called against KC.
Our off-ice conversations, Alex, and that intermission, were just kind of our jaws hitting the floor, looking at Hockey Tech right now, looking at this score sheet from the game today. Just feels remarkable that so many different Mavericks have gotten involved in the offense, and Lucas Sauter, Bobo Carpenter, and Justin Janicki was by far the best forward line in terms of generating offense. They're scoring. Really all postseason, but mainly in the Western Conference Final, and none of those guys have a point tonight. And they got to be breathing a sigh of relief, knowing that it's nice to know you don't have to score to have a chance to win a hockey game.
Right. Here's a shot from the slot, goes just wide. Off the backboard, bounce somehow stays out. How did Jack LaFontaine keep that one out of the net? Jesse Lansdell seemed to have an open net. And Florida's offensive woes continue. Love to get another look at that. Off the bounce, it looked like Lansdell had a gaping 4x6.
I think Lansdell put it off the near side post.
Cooper to the line, Kite overskates it. Here come the Mavericks, 2-on-1. Randall left side, joined by Glenn. Randall left circle, holds on, shoots. Johnson the save. Bounces off the backboards. Randall centers it, Jutting with a shot. Saved by Johnson. Here's Glenn. Couldn't pull the trigger. He was well defended. Delayed penalty upcoming against the Mavericks. Kite sidesteps Jimmy Glenn. Decides to peel off. We'll get it back to Sambrook. And will be played up the wing. Reed Duke near side. Backhand pass into the middle, wanted to need him. Mavericks intercept the pass. Looks like high sticking will be the call against KC. Mavericks 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. But it looks like
someone's got to go to the box here. Right. Everyone's trying to figure out who it is.
Thought it was going to be Sullivan at first. Jimmy Glenn assessed a 2-minute minor for the high stick. Florida's power play has not scored since round 2 against the South Carolina Stingrays. Has been their Achilles heel in these playoffs. Here's Moberg walking the blue line. Reed Duke backhands it to Gisevich. Good stick by Jones, takes it away. Sends it off a partition. It'll carom its way towards Johnson. He leaves it for Cole Moberg. Spent last season in the top Austrian league. This puck will be sent around the wall past Gisevich. Kite able to keep it in the attacking zone. His pass intercepted by Berezowski. Diving attempt to clear succeeds. Johnson comes out of his net. The Mavericks will get a fresh 4 out there. Berezowski's Everett Silvertips were just defeated in a heartbreaking fashion in the Memorial Cup Finals to the Kitchener Rangers. And he is trying to get a cup of his own as LaFontaine keeps the paddle down, makes the save. Duke guides it to Moberg. And here's a shot from Sambrook rather, deflects off a stick. McLaughlin clears it down. Already the Mavericks have killed off half of this Florida power play. Jordan Sambrook played 70 games for the Mavericks back in the 2022-23 season, did Sambrook. Everblades with 2 former Mavericks on their roster. Chow, nice pass, guides it ahead, backhand shot, what a save by LaFontaine! Denying the Everblades top scorer, Anthony Romano. He's got it now, down to Chow. Chow tried to shift to the backhand, lost the puck, the net comes off its pegs. As Chow was just bulldozed there into the net by Hudson Wilson.
Nice job here by the Mavericks PK. Once again, you want to keep this streak at 0 for as long as it takes. And nice save here by Jack LaFontaine on Romano. Romano had a ton of speed. He was able to get the chance. He tries to go to his backhand and pops it up and off the shoulder. LaFontaine did a nice job just staying square to that opportunity. Didn't get too far left, didn't get too far right. Stayed with the play. He hasn't faced a ton in terms of scoring opportunities, but anytime you can be pitching a shutout in the 3rd period, you're doing something right.
There's Sambrook, walks the blue line. Jutting taking away his eyes. Will be sent down to Sam Stang. He switches with Chow, feeds the line. Sambrook to Chow, left corner. Hangs on to it. Oliver Chow works it up to Sambrook. Good stick by Wilson to break up that play. The Everblades reset out at center. Chow puts it over the Mavericks line. Sam Stang. Jimmy Glynn's let out of the box. The Mavericks improved to 4 for 4 on the PK tonight. Elenick up towards the slot. Bursola fresh off the bench to Elenick. Puck on a string. Did well to maintain possession. He will get rid of it and head to the Florida bench. Sam Stang banks it off the boards. Back to Bursola at the point. Couldn't get it through for Betts. The Mavericks clear it down. Does not have enough for icing. KC able to change personnel. We're already 5.5 minutes into this 3rd period. The Mavericks maintaining a 6-goal lead. Here's a shot going just wide. Sent back towards the net, blocked. Lansdell. Bursola. Swatted further by Zamolik. Charlie Wright not able to get by Reed Duke. Low height, wobbles it ahead. Bobo Carpenter's got a 2-on-1 with Souter. Carpenter, delayed penalty, backhand shot. Johnson the save. The whistle blows. The Mavericks will be headed back to the power play for the 4th time tonight.
Fantastic job by Bobo Carpenter, kind of selling that he was going to pass this puck to Lucas Souter on the 2-on-1. Carpenter trying to score against his former team. Great chip out here by Luke Lowhite, and nice opportunity. Bobo Carpenter, one of the team's more lethal goal scorers, looking to pile on, and we'll see if the power play can strike again. Landon McCallum with that one-time rip. The last time the Mavericks scored on the power play. We'll see if they can double up here in the 3rd period.
Right. Another strong opportunity on that 2-on-1. Carpenter and Souter. Tato had told me that he thought Bobo Carpenter was Florida's most dominant player during their Cup run 2 years ago. Like Sean mentioned, trying to score against his former team. Coming very close moments ago. Randall's pass outside of Crawford's reach. LaFontaine comes well out of his net. Up to McCallum. Back for Crawford. Sidesteps Gasevich. A pivotal role on both the power play and the penalty kill. Gasevich. Puck lands in the slot. Scooped up by Cotton. He dances to the circle. Out of Crawford, left wall. Crawford across to Randall. Up high, McCallum hangs on to it. Twists it to Crawford. Nice one-handed pass. Cotton's shot soaked up by Johnson in the blue paint.
Nice one-touch pass here from Crawford. I think David Cotton was trying to go back across the ice for Jack Randall, who would have had a wide-open net to shoot at, but that pass got interrupted, and just nice movement here once again. Just doing a nice job getting in the zone, getting yourself set up, getting your players moving.
That was just A-plus creativity there from Marcus Crawford. He knew he couldn't do much with it based on where his body positioning, and so he just, like you said, Sean, just one-handed it or one-touched it along for Cotton. David Cotton had that excellent opportunity on the power play earlier in this game, trying to redeem himself for that near miss. Novak clean win on the draw. Janicki. Point to point. Zach Ewens. Now Carpenter. Ewens again. Janicki unloads. Pinballed off a body. Cole Moberg is able to clear it. The 7th round draft pick of the Chicago Blackhawks back in 2019. Zach Ewens. The crowd not liking the contact. But Needham might have gotten a piece of LaFontaine. Souter tried to give it over to his left. And never reached the intended target. Novak. So here's Souter now. Up to Carpenter. Deflects it below the Florida goal line. Needham. Stripped of it by Souter. Carpenter guides it out to Janicki. Outer hash marks of the left circle. Carries it down to the corner on the far side. He rolls it near wall for Novak. Behind the net to Souter. Tried to center it for Carpenter. Intercepted in the slot. And Florida will just clear it past the Mavericks blue line. Ewens taken down to the ice. Play on. Novak strips Sam Stang of possession. 5 seconds to go on the penalty. Carpenter plays it ahead. Here's a breakaway. Charlie Wright with a shot, stopped by Johnson. And fresh out of the penalty box, here come the Everblades. Doherty, his shot sails high. Stays in play. Berezowski scoops up the loose puck. Not able to clear it. Good stick by Elenick. Eventually taken off of it by Lowhite. Berezowski out to the red line, draws a penalty. But there will be a roughing infraction against Florida.
Yeah, it's going to be Chow who's going to the box too, and anytime you can get an opposing team's captain to take undisciplined penalties, that's a good sign. But Charlie Wright almost getting a highlight reel goal here. He tries to shoot the puck on the breakaway and unfortunately loses the handle, but does a little Datsuk type deke and just can't elevate the puck over the pad of Johnson. We're going to take a media timeout. When we come back, Mavericks back to the power play. We'll be back after this.
Our railroad moves North America,
expanding our legacy of excellence with each mile.
as leaders in innovation and service.
We are united by hard work and pride.
We safely deliver every day.
Connecting people.
Connecting communities.
Connecting nations.
We are CPKC. Together, we go places no one else can go.
How do I get rid of it? Just drink a ton of water.
My mama said tea with local honey works wonders on a sore throat.
Got the ginger soup.
The best remedy? Essential oils.
Dude, don't worry about it. Always works.
Health question? Get expert advice. Consult a nurse. It's free.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Langley Recycling, one of the largest metal recycling facilities in the Kansas City area and a proud supporter of the Kansas City Mavericks. Langley Recycling specializes in buying, selling, and processing scrap metal. Say goodbye to the hassles of corporate red tape. Their family-owned business is here to offer fast, friendly, and reliable service. To turn your scrap into cash, call Langley Recycling today at 816-924-8452 or visit langleyrecyclingkc.com. So the Mavericks back to the power play for the 5th time tonight. Crawford to McCallum, left half wall. Crawford again to the top of the right circle. Randall gives it back to Crawford. Slides it low. This is David Cotton. Cotton checked off the puck. Jutting tries to recover. He's met by Sam Brook, who finds the escape valve. The Everblades launch it down the ice on net. LaFontaine will play it. Crawford finds McCallum. He'll guide it out to his right. Cotton attempted to reverse it up the wall, intercepted by the Everblades. Here's Gusevich. Tries to dangle through 3 Mavericks. Lost possession. Jutting to McCallum. Takes it up to his stick. He's onside. Drops it in the slot. Randall's side of the net wanted Jutting. Never quite connected with him. Crawford to McCallum. McCallum will bounce it to Jackson Jutting. A minute to go on the power play for KC. Behind the net, Cotton returns it. Jutting, Crawford at the blue line. Wrist shot through a screen, save, rebound, and it stays loose. McCallum will play it to Cotton. His stick was tied up. Everblades not able to clear it. What a keep by Crawford. But he's not able to hold it in the zone. Ultimately, as Gusevich forced it out. 40 seconds remain on the power play for KC. We're just about halfway through this 3rd period. The Mavericks lead 6-0. Here's Bobo Carpenter. He will bounce it off the back wall in the Florida zone. And the puck couldn't be kept in by Novak at the point. Bit of a miscommunication there. And we're seeing Ryan Jones and Hudson Wilson out there, Sean, on the power play.
Yeah, Tato had taken no chances.
Now that is his shutdown D pair. And we get a whistle. That looked like that puck went off the protective netting. We've crossed the midway point of the 3rd. 9:52 to go in the 3rd period. 4 seconds remain on the penalty assessed to Oliver Chow. Looks like the Mavericks power play will be dropping to 1 for 5. But 20%, Sean, against a PK that coming into this game was clicking at over 95. Not too shabby.
Right. I mean, for that average to stay true for the Florida Everblades, the Mavericks would need to go scoreless on their next 15 power play attempts.
Well, good math there, partner.
I do okay every now and then.
I do not. The penalty to Oliver Chow has expired. He has been let out of the sin bin for Florida. We return to 5 skaters aside. No icing because he hadn't left the box yet when Florida iced the puck. Now low height. Diagonal pass, redirected further by Berezowski. Patrick Kite giving a ride into the end wall. Charlie Wright with a good step. Tries to keep the puck in the attacking zone. He did, but Kite was first to the scene. Sullivan from the red line, he will send it in. Another penalty. Some lack of discipline here by the Everblades. The comeback is already very unlikely and improbable, but it becomes even more so, Sean, when you can't stay out of the box.
Yeah, and We'll see if the Mavericks deploy their top power play unit come out of this. We're going to take our second media timeout of the third period. Mavericks back to the power play when we come back.
Optimal performance is our goal both on and off the ice. KCOA is your home for orthopedic care in Kansas City. We have the experts and access to get you the care you need today. With over 60 providers and 7 locations across the metro, we've got the Mavs and your family covered. KCOA is proud to be the official sports medicine provider of the Mavs. Let us be your family's partner in orthopedic care.
Welcome back, folks. 9:19 to go in the third period. The Mavericks are headed right back to the power play. And I think Tad O'Hat has thrown the lines to the wind at this point. We've got Jake McLaughlin out there now on the power play. In the last power play, we saw Ryan Jones and Hudson Wilson out there. He's going with 2 defensemen to just try to ride this one out here. Crawford for Randall. Down to Crawford, right corner. In front for Jutting. He pivots, slides it to Randall. Now to McLaughlin. Back for Randall. Crawford, one-timer. Save Johnson. Forced it to the corner. Jutting to Randall, beg your pardon. Crawford, his drive. That was blocked. But it hit Doherty. Now McLaughlin. McLaughlin sends it to the near wall. Randall slides it into the bumper for Jutting. Cotton. That pass was a pretty hot one from Cotton. Randall tried to dive. It looked like he was trying to keep it in the attacking zone, like he was trying to block a clearing attempt there. 70 seconds remain on this KC power play. The Mavericks leading 6-0 with 8.5 to go in the third. Crawford ahead for Justin Janicki. Had 2 goals in Game 6 against Fort Wayne. Novak slides it along the blue line. Ewens put it in front. Bounced away from Carpenter. The Mavericks steal the puck. Janicki. Defended by Moberg, who takes him into the boards. Gisevich takes his time and just launches it down the ice with half a minute remaining on the Mavericks power play. Zach Ewens, the former Everblade, sends it up the middle. It's one touched further to low height. He enters the zone, drops it off. McLaughlin for Novak with a shot, hit the goalpost. Bounces to low height, far half wall. Ewens wanted it from low height. He decided to go to the outside. Ewens, now Charlie Wright, steps into the middle. Can't find a handle on the puck. It's been cleared by Doherty all the way down. The Everblades have improved to 5 for 6 on the penalty kill. 7:10 to go in the third period. And at this point, I don't think the Mavericks are too concerned if they don't score on these power play opportunities. They're just trying to keep the puck out of their own net. Seeing Hudson Wilson and Ryan Jones playing very far back. So here's Jones. Absorbs a hit from Elenick, standing at 6'5". Jones can't clear it. Intercepted by Chow. His pass back to the line, outside of the reach of Moberg. And it looks like Elenick is down near the blue paint. He lost his stick. LaFontaine, being the gentleman and the scholar that he is, retrieves it for him and hands it to him. I don't know about you, Sean. I did not see what happened involving Elenick there. Nice pass. Here comes Jutting, bursting into the attacking zone. Lost the puck. As it'll be scooped up by Crawford in his own zone. Off the boards, Glynn. And now here's Sam Stang for Florida. Wires it wide of the net. Chopped out of there by Glynn. This is going to be an icing called against KC with 6 minutes to go in the third.
And it just seems like the Mavericks are playing prevent defense right now, making sure they have all the centers back, all the defensemen back they need. They want to protect this shutout. They're not as concerned with finding the 7th goal in this game, and just the chance to kind of sharpen your skills defensively, I think is going to go a long way for the Mavericks in this series. Florida's going to bring it, right? The rest of this game, the rest of the series, they're going to be into attack mode, and Mavericks are going to have to be ready for a desperate Florida Everblades team.
Kite along the board, or along the blue line, slid it over. Will be given to the near corner. This is Oliver Cooper. Fontaine makes a save. Crawford guides it out to Randall. Far wall. And behind the net for McLaughlin. Shoveled along to Crawford. With his head up. Crawford floats it out into the Everblade zone. Inside of the final 5.5. Stang. Now Charlie Wright up to Crawford. McCallum.
Florida took another penalty.
Well, I think at this point, Sean, and that's Lansdell, who's right in the middle of it again. He's already taken 2 penalties. It looks like this is going to be his 3rd trip to the box. Now, coming into this game, he led the ECHL in penalty minutes in the playoffs. Here's the call. Might be having some microphone issues. It's Logan Gruel, the referee. So Jesse Lansdell assessed a 2-minute minor for charging. He's going to have a seat. The Mavericks will head back to the power play when we come back.
It's Coyote season now at Teague Tractor in Belton. If you need a machine that lifts, loads, pulls, and digs wherever you need it, there's a Coyote right for you. See the full pack of Coyote tractors and skid steers at Teague Tractor. Durable, versatile, yet comfortable and convenient. Teague will put you in the Coyote with all the demands and features you require. Teague is a complete Coyote dealer with parts and full service. Pick your tough Coyote today at family-owned Teague Tractor, right off I-49 Belton.
Get ready for a wild adventure at the Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium. Experience the thrill of the animal kingdom like never before. Dive into Sobella Ocean Aquarium and discover the wonders of the deep blue sea. From fun rides to tasty treats, there's excitement around every corner. Create unforgettable memories with your favorite animals and favorite people. Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium, where every visit is a new adventure. Plan your visit today.
Children's Mercy has been trusted by families for over 127 years with more than 8,600 pediatric experts focused on one thing, your kids. From urgent care to top-level surgery, Children's Mercy is built to deliver care that's just for children where you need it. Learn more at cmkc.org/builtforkids. The Mavericks putting on a show here in Game 1. They lead the Florida Everblades by a score of 6-0 as time begins to wind down in this one. McCallum drops it for Charlie Wright. Nice move. Wright gets it right back. Far half wall. He will guide it in behind the net. David Cotton feeds Ewens. Back for Cotton. Up high, McCallum. Skate to stick play at the line. Here's Charlie Wright unloading a shot. That one missed. Didn't miss by much. Cotton, right circle, fires. Johnson the save. He'll soak that one up, and love to hear the Orange Army singing in unison, Sean. They have been united here tonight by the stellar Mavericks performance.
They certainly have. The cheers have been loud. The boos have been loud. The singing was pretty loud there for an extra. They got about an extra 30 seconds of Bon Jovi in that wasn't playing through our speaker system here in the arena. It's been a long 2 years. This fan base has been waiting for this. It took them a while to get to that point. Ahead of 2 years ago, how that series ended, it just hurt. It left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, and everyone was waiting for them to get back to this point. And here we finally are, and I think it's as exciting for everybody involved.
Right. And the team was dead set on making a statement here tonight in Game 1. And the statement that they have made is that this is going to be a different series than it was 2 years ago. Janicki centers it, gets it right back from Souter, tries to fling it to the back door. He had Charlie Wright lurking. Pass slide all the way back down into the Maverick zone. LaFontaine for Zach Ewens. Member of 2 Kelly Cup championship teams with the Everblades. He will dump it in. Souter. He's driven into the boards. A lot of contact down there in the near corner of the Florida zone. That is Connor Doherty battling for it. Sambrook backhands it up the wall. And Hudson Wilson had his first goal of the playoffs back in the first period tonight. Ewens with 3:45 to go in the third. Sullivan will send it to the opposite side. Bounces to the near wall, given up high to Jones. Guides it to Wilson. Put it through the slot. It'll carry him to Sullivan. Dips the shoulder, carries behind the net. He's dispossessed of it. The Everblades clear it down. LaFontaine. Power play has expired as Lansdell's let out of the box. Mavericks power play dropping to 1 for 7 on the night. Randall has got one of the Mavericks' 6 goals. He dumps it to the right corner. Slides into the slot. Lansdell backhands it ahead. To be hauled down the right side by Sam Stang. Forced to turn by Charlie Wright. Stang attempted to send it on net. Wright blocks the shot. Stang recovers it. Centers it. Lansdell bumped down to the ice. Couldn't get a shot off. Into the slot. Kite delays. Gives it over. There's a chance. Berzola couldn't find a clean handle on the puck to get a shot. Huge hit. Thrown behind the net on Jutting. It was a dirty hit. And the Mavericks retaliating. Did not take kindly to that at all. The arm of the referee went up immediately. There was going to be a penalty against who else? Jesse Lansdell, who's going to be heading to the box for the 4th time tonight. And he's going to be lucky if he's not suspended.
Yeah, Jimmy Glenn did not take nicely to that and went right back after it.
And the referees are motioning to get some of the Florida Everblades off the ice here. They're done. The refs have had enough with Florida trying to take a piece of the Mavericks with them ahead of tomorrow night. And this team, they stand up for each other. They do not back down. And in this scenario, it's a dirty hit, and Glenn goes right after him.
Listen to this Orange Army give Jimmy Glenn a nice round of applause.
Yeah, here's the hit from Lansdell. Cross check to the face of the Mavericks leading goal scorer in a 6-0 game. With the Bush League play.
They understand the mad scramble after that, and the refs are doing the right thing, just getting some people off the ice here.
I'd love to see Jimmy Glenn. So they assessed the same penalty to Jimmy Glenn that they gave to Jesse Lansdell. I'm not sure about that, but at this point, it's a moot point. This game was over a long time ago, and Florida knows it. Unfortunately, their efforts have been more directed at taking a piece of the Mavericks rather than trying to chip away at the deficit on the scoreboard. And that last cross-check to the face from Jesse Lansdell was just, you don't like to see that.
No, you do not. Gotta hope calmer heads prevail here, but Hudson Wilson, he's been jawing back and forth with about the entirety of the Florida bench in the past couple of minutes here. I think Tad O'Hat has probably given strict orders to his group to just calm things down. This is a 7-game series that resumes tomorrow night.
Right. We've got more discipline here. That is Berzola. His night appears to be done. Off he goes. Hudson Wilson might be joining him. Well, both sides losing 2 skaters over the last couple of minutes here. We did not hear the call. We've been having some technical issues with the microphones here tonight, folks, but presumably 2 more misconducts. One was assessed to Hudson Wilson. One was assessed to Zach Persola. We go to the 4-on-4 for the first time tonight. Right now, Sam Stang is serving one of the penalties for Florida, and Landon McCallum serving the penalty for KC. And the referees are at the scorekeeper's table. So Anthony Romano, Sandbrook, now Kite, backhanded over the Mavericks line. Charlie Wright there to intercept it. He's somebody that you can count on to not make a dirty play, Sean. Charlie Wright, 8 total penalty minutes in 114 pro regular season games.
It's not a whole lot.
No, it is not. We've got players who've had that many penalty minutes tonight. Carpenter. Not able to clear the puck out. Reese Samolik. And now Jones in his own zone. Inside of the final 100 seconds. What a statement by the Mavericks tonight. As dominant in their own zone on the defensive side of the puck and in the small details as they were in terms of putting the puck in the back of the net. Any way you look at this game, a textbook performance in all 3 zones. Near flawless execution from start to finish. Zach Ewan slides it over. Here's a chance. Janicki not getting a clean handle on the shot. Ewan's trying to give Janicki an opportunity to add an extra point to the touchdown that the Mavericks have scored tonight. 45 seconds. Low height. Slides it across to Sullivan from the left circle. Forced to the outside by Sandbrook. There's Connor Doherty, former Maverick. Out to center, Kite guides it ahead. That was Needham, I beg your pardon. Oliver Cooper's got it in the far corner. Inside of the final 20. McCallum lobs it out of there. The Orange Army all on its feet. 5 seconds. The Mavericks with a dominant 6-0 win in Game 1. They take a 1-0 series lead with an exclamation point. Jack LaFontaine is embraced by his team. His performance probably went under the radar a bit tonight. That tends to happen when your team scores 6 goals, but he was fantastic. 15 saves on 15 shots. He's got his first shutout of these playoffs.
Penalty kill, great offensively. Very, very sharp with a lot of those snipes. Crisp passing. They were just great in all phases of the game tonight. And this Orange Army was electric also, and they're still cheering and standing on their feet.
Just about everybody's still here in attendance. Only now are fans starting to file out of this building. Their support has been steadfast here in Game 1, even though it felt like this game was over probably an hour ago, Chad. And just about everybody's sticking around to support this team en route to a very impressive statement win in Game 1. This was an unprecedented loss for Florida. They have not lost a game to this degree at all in these playoffs. Well, their only 2 losses were pretty close games coming into this one. One was by 2, one was in overtime. So this was just a shock, frankly, to the visiting Everblades here tonight. It'll be interesting to see how they respond tomorrow for Game 2. We're going to keep it right here, Mavs country. The 3-star selection will be taking place shortly. John Dale, our public address announcer, will read off the 3 stars. I don't envy the committee who decides the 3-star selection. There's a lot of players you could choose from tonight.
A lot of players.
Yeah, such a balanced attack. There wasn't any one line or any one player who really dominated. Everyone chipped in. This was 18 skaters, start to finish, just outplaying their opponents.
Well, a lot of times when you see 6 goals, you usually see at least one player have a multi-goal game. And in this case, that wasn't it. I mean, it was 6 different scores for the Mavericks tonight. Everybody pitching in and doing a great job.
Yeah, it was sort of the, I don't want to say the opposite, but in the Fort Wayne Game 6, the Mavericks had 2 players with 2 goals. Tonight, 6 players with 1 goal. Here's John Dale. Well-deserved 3rd star of the game tonight. Hudson Wilson had a goal, had an assist, stood up for his team. He was a +2 rating. He was excellent at his first goal of the playoffs, and it was a beauty to give the Mavericks some insurance at the end of the first period. What a night for Hudson Wilson.